Ding, congratulations host, your mission is completed. Task 4. Invite a super first-line powerhouse to join the 17th Division. Current progress. Former Marine Admiral Zephyr joins. Reward. 30 bait. Ding, congratulations host, your mission is completed. Task 5. Let the number of members of the 17th Division reach 100. Current progress. The number of teams in Division 17 is 213. Reward. 30 bait. Lin Yan swears, he came to Zephyr simply to invite him to join his pirate group. The results of it. Mission 3 is completed. Mission 4 is completed. Now all these students have joined the 17th Division. Even Mission 5 ended successfully. I really did apply for that sentence. Luck has come. Can't stop it, when going to sea. Lin Yan was still alone. However, when returning home. Returned with a full load. When Lin Yan started to return home. Are you going to meet Whitebeard? Zephyr stood on the deck, facing the sea breeze, blowing his purple hair, and whispered slightly. In the old days, Zephyr and Whitebeard are still in a hostile relationship. Each side is its own master, they even fought for honor. But they are such mortal enemies. Now, under the wheel of history, they are cleverly coming together again. Really strange. Same. Zephyr wanted to see it more and more. Later, when Whitebeard saw him, his eyes were filled with astonishment. I actually have such a bad taste. Zephyr smiled, brightly. At this moment, clang, their ship seemed to have hit something. The whole ship shook violently. What happened? Why is the deck shaking violently? Could it be that we hit a rock? Let's go and see why. Many students were returning to the Whitebeard pirates. One by one came to the deck. Want to find out? Soon. They found out what happened, but they saw a very small ship colliding with their fleet. Obviously, this was a maritime traffic accident. The man on Yi Yagujo smiled apologetically and said, I'm really sorry. I took a nap for a while, but I didn't expect to bump into your boat. Fine. Zephyr dismissed it as just a bump in the road accident at sea. It's not a big deal. Suddenly, the students around Zephyr discovered something was wrong. To know. Where is this? This is the New World in the second half of the Grand Line. Just the first half of the Grand Line is known as an extremely dangerous sea area. However, the New World is even worse than that. If there is no professional navigator, if you want to cross the Sea of New World, it will be difficult to reach the sky. But even so, the person in front of me, standing on a solitary boat, leaning on a cane, sitting upright, he appeared in the ocean of the New World in such an outrageous way. How big is Yi Gujo? The length is only 4 or 5 meters, and the width is only 2 people. A storm can level you. How courageous this is. Don't you know that if you are not careful, you will be in danger? You just go out to sea in a lonely boat? A student asked. Is there a problem? The man on crutches on the lone boat stood up. He closed his eyes and looked at Lin Yan's fleet. This sea is very dangerous. Where are you going? How about we give you a ride? The students also had good intentions and said to the man on crutches. Because of this traffic accident, the lone boat was also slightly damaged, and seawater seeped in. No doubt. The lone boat is no longer suitable for riding. May I? Asked the man on crutches. Of course, but before that, we have to ask the squad leader for instructions. The student replied. Lin Yan's room. He was leaning on his chair and watching Jin Ping Mei episodes with great relish. Suddenly, there was a faint sound of footsteps at the door. Being keen, he immediately noticed that someone was coming. Lin Yan quickly put Xiao Meimei away. At the same time, sit upright. Ain pushed the door open. Enter Lin Yan's room. But I saw Lin Yan inside practicing. What a hard effort. Obviously so strong. Ain was slightly emotional. Look at others, they are so strong and still seize the time to practice. What qualifications do they have to fish and swim? What's matter? Lin Yan opened his eyes slightly and said to Ain who walked in. Captain, this is what happened. Ain briefly described it. It's just a matter of carrying one person on board. Not a big deal. Let him come up, Lin Yan said. Okay. Ain did not dare to continue disturbing Lin Yan's practice and quickly withdrew. The other side. The man on crutches landed on the fleet of their 17th Division. When he landed up, everyone on the ship, including Ain. Everyone was shocked. You. Are you a blind person? Many crew members pointed at the man on crutches in front of them, and they were so shocked that they couldn't open their mouths from ear to ear. I'm crazy. Is the world crazy? You are a blind man on crutches, crossing the vast ocean on a lonely boat. Where did you get the courage? Got this news. Even Zephyr looked sideways, between the eyebrows. A little mixed with doubt. Ashamed. It's a good thing I met some kind-hearted people, isn't it? The blind man walked up to Zephyr and all the students with a cane. He spoke in a humble, elegant and easygoing manner. This. The students couldn't help but sigh that the world is full of wonders and even blind people dare to go to sea. Where's your captain? Asked the blind man. Our captain is practicing. Ain thought of Lin Yan who was practicing before. Are you practicing? You were really diligent. In that case, I won't disturb your captain. Thank you very much for being willing to give me a ride. The blind man expressed his gratitude to everyone. Time soon came to night, after a whole day. Lin Yan has finally finished reading Xiao Meimei. Read it in one sitting. This is sour and refreshing. Incredible. Captain, although training is important, you must also balance work with rest and pay attention to your health. I left the dinner for you. I'll get it for you. As soon as Lin Yan went out, she met Ain. She was considerate and left a dinner for Lin Yan. Not long after, dinner was delivered to Lin Yan's room. Warm. I can tell. In this regard, Ain is very attentive. In the past, Lin Yan basically did everything in a hurry. Since Ain came, life has become more nourishing since then. He also understood it. The importance of having a woman by your side. By the way, there was a person on the boat earlier, right? Lin Yan asked while replenishing the food. Captain, I'm afraid it will shock you to say that he is a blind man. Ain recalled her initial shocked look, and she replied to Lin Yan. Blind? Hearing these two words, Lin Yan was stunned at first. Then he raised his head slightly, just like everyone thought. This is the new world. A blind man went out to sea in a lonely boat. This is too outrageous. Captain, let me tell you about the reaction on our ship at that time. Ain began to describe the situation to Lin Yan. Listen to Ain's story. Lin Yan lowered his head slightly. He was keen and noticed something was wrong. A blind man dared to go to sea in such a way. There are only two results. 1. Desire to die. 2. This blind man. It's definitely not simple. Listening to Ain's description, Lin Yan caught the key words, blind man plus using a cane. What a coincidence. In Lin Yan's mind, a figure appeared unconsciously, a familiar figure. Where is he? Lin Yan couldn't care less about eating, so he asked. Under the leadership of Ain, Lin Yan came to a guest room. The guest room is where the blind man temporarily lives. Just walked in. Lin Yan saw a rather sturdy man sitting in front of him. He was dressed like a Ronin swordsman, his eyes were closed, and his crutch was placed on one side. The two scars on his face just went through his eyes. If I say it was just speculation before, so now. The suspicion was confirmed. Lin Yan's heart skipped a beat. The blind man before his eyes. Isn't it the future Marine Admiral? Fujitora smiles. During the 2 years of Summit War, Akainu and Aokiji started a fierce battle in Punk Hazard for Admiral. The final result is, Akainu ascended to the position of Marshal. Aokiji was dissatisfied with being under Akainu and regretfully left Naval Headquarters. Since then, Marine has 2 vacant Admiral seats. And in order to make up for the losses of Summit War, Marine launched a global conscription, and a smile and a green bull. It was by chance that he was discovered during the Marine World recruitment. With the title of Super Powerful Monster, one of the Marine Admirals promoted as an exception. A smile. Those with gravity fruit abilities have a gentle personality and terrifying strength. A master of swordsmanship and perfect practice. Rather than chasing pirates, he is more concerned about the safety of the people, hates injustice, and is one of the few who opposes the 7 warlords of the sea system. In the Ming Ge chapter, I looked at Dressrosa who was in dire straits. Yi Xiao even ignored his identity as Marine Admiral. Apologized to the king of Dressrosa in public, hoping that they can forgive Marine and regain confidence in Marine who did not protect them. It can be said, he is an admiral with a kind heart. On popularity, ranked among the best in the admiral ranks. But, a smile today. There is no prefix, Futura, yet. Marine has not yet started world recruitment. He's not a Marine. Rather, he is simply a Ronin on the Grand Line. Are you just smiling? I've admired you for a long time. Lin Yan stretched out his hand and said very enthusiastically. Inside the room. A smile is a sign of a meal. When you learn your name, when Lin Yan shouted out. Yi Xiao couldn't help but asked in confusion. How? How do you know my name? Aside. Ain also stayed slightly for a while. Team leader. Could it be that you know this blind man? To know. Even her teacher Zephyr doesn't know the origin of the blind man. No. I also heard recently that there is a wanderer wandering around in this sea, and now I actually met him. I'm glad to meet you. Lin Yan continued with a smile on his face. This. Looking at the enthusiastic Lin Yan, he hesitated to smile. He had the feeling that the other party was setting a trap on him. It seems that I just went out to sea 2 days ago. Where did you hear that? Of course. The so-called long-term admiration and happy meeting. Lin Yan didn't believe it himself, let alone others. Out of the most basic courtesy, Lin Yan said directly, Introduce yourself, Lin Yan, captain of the 17th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates. It turns out that the captain of Division 17 became famous all over the world a while ago. Yi Xiao had already learned the news from other people when he boarded the ship. It's unworthy of being famous all over the world. There are still many strong people in this world who have never been discovered. They are just not as well known as me, and their strength may not be weaker than mine. Lin Yan shook his head. My friend, you are really an interesting person. Why did you come to me? Yi Xiao asked. Hear this. Lin Yan fell silent. Actually, Lin Yan's purpose is simple. He wanted to invite Yi Xiao on board. Joke. This is a Marine Admiral from the future. The key is. He is still a free man. It would be fine if I didn't meet him. Now that we have met, how could Lin Yan miss it? If Yi Xiao were allowed to join Marine and become his enemy from now on, wouldn't this be shooting himself in the foot? Fertilizer and water. It cannot be allowed to flow into the fields of outsiders. Besides, in the 17th Division, it seems that the only ones who can fight are Zephyr and himself. Although the others are not weak, they are still one level behind the front line. If you can successfully invite Yi Xiao to join their 17th Division, in addition to Lin Yan, there are 2 admiral-level figures. How could Lin Yan not be excited? But invitations are not a problem. The issue is, I just met Yi Xiao. Open your mouth to invite the other party to join your pirate group. No need to think about it. Yi Xiao will definitely reject himself. This matter. We have to think about it in the long term. It just so happened that it would take a while for Lin Yan and the others to return to the Whitebeard Pirates. Just take advantage of this opportunity. Let's get close to Yi Xiao condom. Lin Yan's face. A smile gradually emerged. It's okay, I just came to see you. Respect the old and love the young. Take a good rest, said. Lin Yan took aim and left here. Zephyr had just been invited on board the day before. Today I encountered a smile. He thought of a famous clip in which the man made a fist with one hand and said, I want them all. Yes. Former Admiral Zephyr, future Admiral smiles. He wants them all. Captain, do you know this person? On the way out, Ain asked like a curious baby. Do not know. How could Lin Yan know Yi Xiao? Then why were you so exposed just now? Ain hesitated for a moment and said, Where's the evil smile? Just walked a few steps. Lin Yan paused. Evil smile. Did I just smile so openly? Lin Yan touched his chin and said. Well. Why not? Ain tilted his head and said. Lin Yan sighed. Because he suddenly met the future Marine Admiral. As a result, the expression on the face was not managed well. Ashamed. Ashamed. In the next few days, Lin Yan warmly welcomed us with a smile. Treat him like a guest. In fact, regardless of Yi Xiao's strength or future status, he can afford to be treated like this by Lin Yan. Look at Lin Yan's enthusiasm. The smile moved her slightly. Favorability towards Lin Yan, it also keeps rising. As expected of the captain. Very different from ordinary pirates. Are you going to invite him on board? Looking at Lin Yan's behavior in the past 2 days, Zephyr asked Lin Yan. Did you see it? Lin Yan asked back. Didn't you just use this trick on me? Zephyr sat on the chair and took a sip of tea. Indeed. When inviting Zephyr on board, Lin Yan really kept running towards Zephyr. Listen to what he said. It seems that this is really the case. After my observation over the past few days, this smile is indeed different. In terms of demeanor and ability, he hides them very well. It can be seen that he seems to like Marine more. Are you confident? Zephyr has been observing Yi Xiao these days, and he analyzed rationally. But to his regret, even him, They can't even see through this blind man. How will you know if you don't try? In the final analysis, you still have to give it a try, Lin Yan said. Finally, when the time is almost brewing, Lin Yan smiled. Let's talk. Can. After a few days of getting along, Yi Xiao naturally realized Lin Yan's purpose. In fact, Yi Xiao was also very confused. He doesn't know either. Where did Lin Yan get the news about herself? Notice. Before that, Yi Xiao thought he didn't reveal any flaws. Even to the outside world, he has always maintained a blind attitude. Ordinary people cannot be ordinary, they look just like ordinary people. The results of it? Lin Yan can explain it all. All my own cover-ups. They were all seen clearly in front of him. I heard you want to join Marine. Lin Yan also learned that Yi Xiao was going to sea to join Marine. Calculate the time. Yi Xiao came into Marine's field of vision at about this time. You want to invite me to join the 17th Division? Asked with a smile. In fact, he had long been prepared to wait for Lin Yan to find him alone. That's right. Lin Yan didn't hide it either. Before that, can I ask a question? Yi Xiao has questions and would like to ask Lin Yan to answer them. But it doesn't matter. Lin Yan said. How did you know about my past and want to invite me on board? I'm quite curious. Yi Xiao has always believed that it is impossible for a person as famous as Lin Yan to invite ordinary people on board for no reason. More importantly, he is still blind, at least. The person who is invited must have exceptionally outstanding abilities. Or excellent navigation ability. Or have outstanding shipbuilding abilities. Yi Xiao thinks he has some strength, at least. He never showed it. This is a bit unjustifiable. This question is spot on. Do you think seeing each other's eyes counts as a reason? Lin Yan naturally knows how Yi Xiao feels now. But it's impossible for him to say something like, SRY, after watching One Piece, I can do whatever I want. Are you right? The smile on Yi Xiao's face froze. About this issue. Yi Xiao has been thinking about it these past 2 days. The result was no clue at all, but here comes Lin Yan. Just looking at each other. Why? This is just like how Yi Zhang was confused when he heard about 5 insurances and 1 housing fund before. What kind of brain circuit is this? Is it really that simple? Yi Xiao asked in disbelief. It's really that simple. Lin Yan smiled and gave him an affirmative answer. Inside the room, the two sides fell into a long silence. Yi Xiao fell silent. Lin Yan poured himself a cup of tea. Drinking sip after sip, after a long time, Lin Yan broke the deadlock and said, Yi Xiao, your ideal is to join Marine and protect the peace of the country, but what kind of status do you think you need to achieve the answer you want? When Yi Xiao heard this, he thought for a while and shook his head. I don't know, what do you think? Admiral. Lin Yan slowly raised his head. If you want to have the right to speak in Marine, only Admiral can do it. Marine Admiral. The highest position in Marine besides Marshal, the top combat power of Marine. These are 3 powerful men selected from a group of millions of majestic Marines with terrifying ultimate strength. They are sought after and admired by countless people. He is also catching up to the top of the New World 4 emperors. 5 years. Do you think that in 5 years, you can become the only admiral in a million with a smile? Lin Yan asked, holding out 5 fingers. This. Yi Xiao hesitated, and you said that if you join Marine, you can make a difference. He is confident he can do it. May want to be a Marine Admiral. This is a bit difficult to handle. Marine Admiral only has 3 locations. Nowadays. Akainu Kazaru Aokiji, none of them are in their prime and at the peak of their strength. Let alone 5 years to become an admiral, not possible for 10 years. At the same time, the purpose of Yi Xiao joining Marine is very clear. Having seen the cruelty of the pirate world, he increasingly wanted to abolish the 7 warlords of the sea system. May want to abolish the 7 warlords of the sea system. Easier said than done. I believe you can see how difficult Marine's journey is. Becoming a Marine Admiral takes at least 5 years, or even 10 years. How many more decades do you have in your life? Do you think you can afford it now? Lin Yan said seriously. Seeing the gradually hesitant smile, he knew that his goal was achieved. Since you choose to cut off your hair, then cut it off hard. He simply blocked the road and described how difficult it was. Actually, as always shining gold, just smile and join Marine. Let alone 5 years. It takes less than a year, even half a year, or even 3 months to reach the top of the world. Where is his gold? A smile is like a diamond, the kind that can blind your eyes with a little sunshine. What makes Lin Yan want to laugh is, with a smile, he doesn't know the future trend. Little did he know that he would become a Marine Admiral in just a few months after joining the Marine Association. Who would have thought? After the Summit War, Marshal Sengoku abdicated, and Punk Hazard fought between Akainu and Aokiji, leaving 2 Marine Admiral ranks vacant. Follow normal procedures. We really have to wait until the previous Marine Admiral abdicates. The next Admiral candidate will have a chance. Smile. I believe you can see that I want to invite you on board. Join our 17th Division. I will fulfill all your dreams. Abolition of the 7 warlords of the sea system is one of them. I guarantee this as the captain of the 17th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates. Lin Yan directly mentioned that his identity as the captain of the 17th Division guarantees this. Division 17 has just been established. What a shitty reputation. But he really said it straight away, without any ambiguity. Do you know how I became blind in these eyes? When he spoke with a smile, his words suddenly became profound, and his face was full of vicissitudes of life. Lin Yan scratched his head. Look at your question. Those people in movies and TV shows who self-destruct their eyesight. Aren't they basically the same as you? Lin Yan pondered for a while, and then he made a random guess. You are so used to seeing this dirty world that you choose to destroy your eyesight? As expected. Yixia paused for a moment. He sighed to Lin Yan in surprise. You were right. This is also the reason why I reject pirates. Of course. But Lin Yan said with great vigor on his face. I sympathize with you, but pirates cannot be generalized and discussed on a case-by-case basis. What kind of pirate do you think I am? My friend, you are different from other pirates. You are the friendliest and kindest person I have ever met. However, there is no need to join your pirate group. It can be seen that in Yi Xiao's consciousness, Lin Yan is a pirate worthy of his appreciation. Hey, I didn't expect you to give me such a high evaluation. You don't know something. The last person I invited said the same thing as you. Now, he has become my crew member. Lin Yan thought of Zephyr and said calmly, Oh, who is that person? Yi Xiao asked. Former Marine Admiral, Black Arm Zephyr. Can I invite my ex-Marine Admiral for a year? Sri, after the invitation is successful, you can really boast for 1 year. As expected. When I heard the words Black Arm Zephyr, a smile in the heart. It caused a wave. The former Marine Admiral joined his squad. There's something about Zephyr. Naturally, Yi Xiao has also heard of it. Didn't this former Marine Admiral hate pirates very much? How? At this time, Lin Yan followed closely and said, Yi Xiao, you are now traveling all over the world and calling yourself home. Marine is a place that pays attention to background. If you join rashly, I can be sure that you will not make any achievements in the short term. Are you so patient? Buried in the sea of people? He smiled and said nothing, or, he didn't know how to refute. Inside the Marine. This is indeed the case as Lin Yan said. He listened quietly. Now there is an opportunity in front of you. Join my 17th Division. I don't say I will give you the best, but I can also provide you with a world where you can show off your ambitions in this world. Fists and kicks. Now, this opportunity is placed in front of you. Whether to grasp it or give up on it is all in your mind. Lin Yan's words were very sincere. Every word came sonorously and forcefully into Yi Xiao's ears, directly touching the deepest part of his heart. Listening to Lin Yan's exciting and encouraging words. If you smile, your heart will not be touched. That's all false. Seeing this, Lin Yan added fire to him and said, Just a smile, I'm serious. The world needs you, and our 17th Division also needs you. Over the years, although he is a Ronin, but he is always moving forward in his own direction. But what's the result? Repeatedly frustrated and defeated repeatedly. Now, Lin Yan gave him hope. It lit a fire in him. I heard that you once swept away the entire Whitebeard pirates by yourself? Yi Xiao asked in a deep voice. What's wrong? When Lin Yan heard this, he knew the opportunity had come. I want to compete with you. If you win, I will not only join your 17th Division team, but also give you a big gift. Yi Xiao said steadily. Lin Yan's face originally had a smile on it. But, after hearing Yi Xiao's words, he gradually raised his head, his eyes sparkling. Is this true? Ain. Look for nearby islands. Lin Yan warned Ain. There are many islands in the Grand Line. After a while, the fleet of the 17th Division docked on an uninhabited island. The center of the island. Mountains and ravines are outlined vertically and horizontally. Looking around, There is an endless lush virgin forest. Between mountains and fields, the chirping of birds, beasts and insects continued one after another. Lin Yan and Yishao lined up, each holding his own. Yishao closed his eyes and slowly pulled out the sword from the cane. Observation hockey flows, and the airwaves spread out. Lin Yan stood quietly on the opposite side of Yishao. No words were spoken. There was no action either. After the aura has brewed to a certain extent, the battle is about to break out. Whoosh. Just listen to a piercing sound in the air. The first person to attack was Yishao. Cut. The sword in his hand slashed at Lin Yan in a way that no one should have done. Dragon Claw. Lin Yan's palm was covered with dense electric currents of white light. He squeezed his claws with one hand and received the slashing attack with a smile. Clang. The dragon claws covered with thunder and lightning grabbed the long knife with a smile. One knife and one claw. The two collided. Violent electric current and the sound of slashing. Very messy in the wind. The auras erupted from both sides, blasted away the surrounding areas. Scarlet barrel thick lightning fell from the sky. Smashed on the ground, on rocks, in the mountains and forests. The wind is turbulent and the clouds are turbulent. The surrounding mountains, rivers and vegetation were all wiped out by the aftermath of the battle between the two. This is the first blow between the two of them. The aftermath alone was so terrifying. Don't mention it as a party. As a spectator. After the Zephyr students saw this scene, they were horrified to see it. When they learned that their squad leader was going to fight the blind man. Everyone was happy on the branches. Talk about it. Naturally, they had heard about the deeds of this squad leader. But I didn't see him doing it himself. The opportunity is now. They also happened to want to observe and observe. What kind of scene is the battle between the super strong men in the New World? However, it's better not to watch. When I saw the first blow between the two of them, it was so shocking that it shook the world. The students all gasped. They lamented that he was worthy of being the squad leader, and his strength was indeed extraordinary. However, what shocked them even more? A smile at the first collision. He was actually evenly matched with their squad leader. This blind man. Not ordinary either. Don't wait for them to think too much. The battle between Lin Yan and Yishao continues. After one blow, both sides come and go. They collided for 100 rounds in one go. There is no brilliant movement technique, no fancy skills. This is a pure collision of strength between the two sides. After 100 rounds, Yishao was forced to retreat. Collide so many times in a row. He only felt that his jaw was trembling, and the arm holding the long knife was also trembling. There was also fine sweat on the forehead. Lin Yan's power is so powerful. The other side. Lin Yan also frowned slightly. Yishao is not weaker than them in terms of strength. Josie, the captain of the 3rd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates. Not to mention his swordsmanship that is on par with Beasta. In the attainments of swordsmanship, a smile goes a long way. His strength. Even stronger than Zephyr. Come again. Yishao Hangdao immediately attacked again. Yishao attacks again. His swordsmanship pays attention to subtlety. In an instant, thousands of slashes enveloped Lin Yan. Clang. 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 There was an endless stream of swords and shadows. Yishao's slash even caused a brief distortion of space. It is airtight and cannot find any breakthrough. The knife cuts off the water and is extremely sharp. Everything. It seems as if everything will turn into dust and cease to exist in front of a smile. The two exchange dozens of figures, but they are still indistinguishable. Gravity magnetic field. Gravity squeeze. 10,000 times gravity. Suddenly. With a smile and a squeeze with one hand, the gravity fruit is released instantly. It's okay if it's not released. This release directly takes out the ability of 3 bottom pressing boxes. Gravity fruit. It can generate gravity waves, and can control the strength and direction of gravity at will, including gravity, anti-gravity, pressure, repulsion, gravity, etc. It has extremely terrifying gravitational waves. Once it is hit by the caster, it will be trapped in the mud, or it will be crushed to pieces. A smile exerted gravity on Lin Yan's body. Lin Yan felt like there were 2 big mountains on his shoulders. My steps have slowed down quite a bit. It was as if he had been exerted the magic of moving mountains and seas, and his body became sluggish. Lin Yan closed his eyes and felt the burden on his body and said, "Is this the gravity fruit ability?" Gravity knife. Cut. Yishao squatted down, shouted, "Cut," and then swung out the knife. He tried his best. A vast crescent moonslash appeared, flying towards Lin Yan like a meteor chasing the moon. The movement is swift and violent. Nothing goes wrong. Good guy, you've already become a blockbuster if you don't make a sound. You can use so many abilities to suppress me. You really think highly of me. Although he had 2 mountains on his shoulders and his body was sluggish, Lin Yan still avoided the roaring slashes immediately, and at the same time, he did not forget to use his mouth escape skill towards Yi Xiao. A smile and silence. Only. The movement of his hands. It gets faster, because the battle between the two was too fast. In addition to the previous collision in terms of pure strength, every intersection is like beating a drum. The sound roared, resounding in the sky. A strong person. For example, Zephyr and Ain are fine. But the other students were miserable. It won't take more than a moment and a half. Some people were so shocked that they covered their ears. Some people's eardrums have been damaged, and dripping blood overflowed. To know. These people. Most of them are students trained by Zephyr. A large part of them are elite cadres who came out of Marine. Everyone counts 1 as 10, but even so. When I saw Lin Yan and Yi Xiao fighting so horribly, and when the aftermath of the fight between the two becomes unbearable, their eyes widened and they were extremely shocked. Is this an all-out clash between 2 top New World elites? They are not even qualified to watch it. Lin Yan is okay. At least he is recognized as the squad leader by everyone. Teacher Zephyr has been defeated by his existence. Regarding Lin Yan's strength, everyone admired him extremely. The issue is, who is this blind man? A smile. Never heard of it. This is just a passerby who happened to land in their 17th division a while ago. The results of it, who would have thought? A passerby I met accidentally a while ago. The strength is actually equally powerful to such a terrifying level. People say that in the New World, super strong people are everywhere. They didn't believe it before. Now, they believed it. Pick up someone casually on the sea. It was a tie with their squad leader. This is too scary, although they don't know what level their squad leader has reached. But at least it's at Admiral's level. But this blind man had an inextricable fight with their squad leader, with each other winning or losing. What does this mean? The blind man in front of me. I guess Admiral also started. Oh my god. Once upon a time. Admiral-level experts are so worthless. This is so shocking. Many students also came to their senses. No wonder he dared to compete with the captain. This strength far superior to everyone else they had on site. With a long confrontation, there was more and more sweat on Yi Xiao's forehead. Don't look at the fact that he has been neck and neck with Lin Yan for a long time. But actually, no matter what Yi Xiao does, they are all controlled by Lin Yan. It was as if the opponent had predicted the direction of his attack in advance. No matter how hard Ren Yi Xiao tried, he still couldn't touch Lin Yan at all. Yi Xiao was also confused. Why did he feel like he was completely seen through by Lin Yan? I want to ask Yi Xiao why he feels this way. The reason is simple. Back in the beginning, Lin Yan's observation Haki and Mangekyo Sharingan complement each other and are released simultaneously. Both were driven to ultimate by Lin Yan. Observation Haki predicted the trend of Yi Xiao's swordsmanship. Mangekyo Sharingan accurately sees through all the flaws in Yi Xiao's attack. This also makes. I smiled and punched the cotton with my fist for a long time. I can't use my strength. One goes down and the other goes up. When Yi Xiao was sweating profusely and his physical strength was greatly reduced, Lin Yan remained calm and unaffected at all. The two sides form a sharp contrast. Gravity knife. Qilin. This time, Yi Xiao used his full strength to attack again, and at the same time, a terrifying gravity was exerted on Lin Yan's body. I saw a unicorn flashing out from the swordlight. Qilin locked onto Lin Yan. It hit him head-on. Seeing a full-strength smile burst out again, Lin Yan naturally realized that there was not much strength left in him, almost. His hands were surrounded by thunder. The power of Thunder Fruit was released into ultimate on the spot. The Gravity Fruit is the top devil fruit of the Grand Line. But why not Thunder Fruit? Billion volts, Thor. If Mera Mera Fruit's ultimate move is Fire Emperor, Dark Fruit's ultimate move is Dark Emperor. Then Thunder Fruit's ultimate move is Thor, in an instant. A billion Baileys of volts burst out like an explosion. The sky was gray and the rain was falling. Dark clouds are approaching, and black clouds are rolling in. Giant lightning shrouded the sky, sweeping down from the top of the sky like destroying everything. This moment, under the blessing of majestic thunder, Time seems to have frozen, the void is being annihilated, and the space is being shattered. All matter ceased to exist in the thunder. The lightning was so bright that it was invisible. The power of terror. Crush all the aftermath of the previous smile. What a terrifying power. His expression changed drastically when he smiled, and he wanted to escape. But it was simply too late. Boom. In an instant, the entire island was eroded under Lin Yan's thunder god. Everything was drowned by thunder and lightning. Mist filled the air, smoke and dust rose everywhere. The islands were scorched black, and the ocean surged. Everything ceases to exist, in the big pit. He lay on the ground with an exhausted smile. He knows. I lost. Lost to Lin Yan in front of me. In the collision of top forces, he is no match for Lin Yan. The moment he fell down with a smile, Lin Yan had already removed all the aftermath of thunder fruit. He fell from the sky and landed in front of Yishao. Is everything okay? Listen to Lin Yan's words. Yishao looked at him with a bitter look, then sat up and said, "You kept it." The terrifying lightning just now was going to really fall on him. Except for insulators. If not, it only burns to ashes in an instant. 1 billion volts. What a huge power this is. If you don't hold back, can I really kill you? Lin Yan said with a smile. Kill Yishao? He couldn't bear it. Yishao lay on the ground, breathing heavily, with this defeat. Ever since. After Zephyr, Yishao also became a member of Lin Yan's 17th Division. Since then, inside the 17th Division, the 3rd Admiral level combat power was born. Looking at the defeat with a smile, the people watching around were silent. At first they just came to watch the game. Everyone was numb now. They really couldn't think of it. The strength of this blind man. To be so powerful. Who is his opponent? His opponent is his own division captain, okay. Lost to the captain. Although defeated, it is still glorious. Suddenly, the students looked at Yishao one by one. Everything started to change, become admired, became respected. Zephyr also looked at him seriously and smiled. Notice. Before that, Zephyr believes that Yishao's strength is at most the level of a royal deputy. Unexpectedly, when the ending comes out, you can reach the top step by step with a smile. Ask yourself, I am afraid that you may not be the opponent of a smile. Zephyr himself was shocked. Soon, under the introduction of Lin Yan, Yishao also got to know Zephyr a little bit. Zephyr is full of respect for Yishao. Yishao learned that the person in front of him was the former Marine Admiral Black Arm Zephyr. There were waves in his heart. At this time, Yishao said, Captain, your 17th Division has just been established. Is it short of crew members? Do you have anything else to recommend? Lin Yan immediately smiled at the implication. Do you still remember that I said I would give you a big gift? Yishao said with a smile. Of course I remember. Lin Yan quietly waited for the next part of Yishao. Captain, this is my first time on your ship, so I didn't give you a big gift, but since there is a shortage of crew members, I do have a candidate here. If we can invite him on board, it will be an out-and-out good thing for our 17th Division. His strength is even stronger than mine, he continued with a smile. Stronger than you? How is that possible? Lin Yan didn't believe it at all. Smile, smile, don't belittle yourself so much. I'm so lucky to have you. How can others be stronger than you? Zephyr on the side also raised his head slightly, showing the strength of Yishao. He has seen it with his own eyes, and they are comparable to the 3 of Aokiji Akainu Kizaru. Even if this person is very strong, a smile is also a bit too modest. This is a man I met on the sea in the past. I had a fight with him at that time, and I know his details well. He is indeed no less than me, and he is a crew member worthy of invitation. I heard recently that he seems to be interested in joining Marine. Captain, if you want to invite, you'd better hurry up. He smiled at Lin Yan and explained his identity. However, when Lin Yan heard that this man and Yishao were really deadlocked, he stood up directly. To know, who is Yishao? That's the Marine Admiral of the future, on strength. Not weaker than Akainu, not weaker than Aokiji, not weaker than anyone in the current Admiral. Now, this person was actually able to fight Yishao back and forth. Isn't that what it means? The other party is also an Admiral level figure? If this can bring the other party in, it was easy for his 17th Division to reach the top overnight. Lin Yan thought Yishao was just being modest. I didn't expect that he meant it. Who is this person you recommend? Lin Yan asked urgently. Green Bull. The name has not been announced yet, so I will use this codename for now. Yi Xiao naturally noticed Lin Yan's thirst for talent. Green Bull is in trouble. It's him, as early as when Yi Xiao said that he was not weaker than him. Lin Yan had a vague guess. I just accepted the future Marine Admiral, and now I have another Green Bull. How could Lin Yan not be shocked? How is it possible not to fall in love with branches? In Lin Yan's opinion, he could intercept a future Marine Admiral. This is already an extremely lucky thing, but look. Zephyr, it doesn't matter if he smiles. Now the green cows also have clues. You call this Jia-hu? This is called digging into Marine's wall. Just imagine. After the big event, Aokiji leaves the team and Akainu becomes the marshal. When the only Marine Admiral under his command is Kizaru. What is this experience? Besides, if the Summit War breaks out next, Lin Yan directly led 3 people to fight on top. When Sengoku watched the 3 admirals under his command fighting back and forth with the newly established Division 17 team, he fell into deep thought for a long time. Zephyr, Smile, and Green Bull. This is the rhythm of Summit War that will shock everyone with their skills. Captain, do you know Green Bull? I smiled a little surprised. No way, Lin Yan only knows his identity. Could it be that he has even heard of Green Bull? His intelligence network is too terrifying. I've never heard of it. Lin Yan shook his head. Next, Yi Xiao made the information about Green Bull clear. The current green cow is in Wanokuni area. The specific location requires him to lead the way. Just do it. Lin Yan directly asked the helmsman to turn the ship's bow and rush towards Wanokuni, the waters under the jurisdiction of the New World Beasts pirates. About a week later, Lin Yan's 17th Division appeared in the waters surrounding Wanokuni. In front of their eyes, a waterfall appears. On the waterfall, you can vaguely see a few carp leaping over the Dragon Gate. As long as you log into this waterfall, you can enter Wanokuni territory. The issue is how to log in. Lin Yan touched his chin. He couldn't remember how to log into Wanokuni. But for the people of Division 17, not a big deal. I just saw a smile and a move with one hand. The gravity fruit activates. The ship under their feet slowly floated into the air like a space carrier. A sudden scene. The surrounding students were all overjoyed. Is this the devil fruit ability of Yi Xiao? Watching the ocean beneath my feet getting further and further away. This feeling of flying in the sky. Everyone said it was amazing. Not long after, they arrived at their destination. Lin Yan arranged for the students to temporarily guard the ship. With a smile, he and Zephyr entered this vast primeval forest. Yi Xiao held the wine jar and walked in the front. These wine jars were temporarily purchased by Lin Yan at the market. Prescribe the right medicine. Yi Xiao likes ramen, while Liniu is particularly interested in drinks. But Lin Yan looked at Yi Xiao in front of him and asked curiously, Yi Xiao, can you tell me how you can see the road clearly? About the Green Bull sightings, only a smile knows. The current leader is Yi Xiao. Watching Yi Xiao skillfully shuttle through the forest with his eyes closed, avoiding all kinds of thorns and vines, and walking out of a road leading to the sky. Lin Yan is really curious, whether you can see it or not. Since you can see, why would you destroy your eyes? Haha, practice makes perfect. Yi Xiao just answered this sentence. Finally, waiting to pass through a deep mountain and old forest. In front of a thatched house, the smile stopped. Arrive. Said with a smile, arrive. Heard a smile. Lin Yan and Zephyr looked up. But in the old forest in front of them, a thatched house was standing on the spot. The sounds of birds, beasts and insects are endless all around. It is also a unique place for retirement, no doubt. The green cow is inside the thatched house. Lin Yan and Zephyr looked at each other. They approached the thatched cottage, but just close. Inside the thatched house, there was a loud snoring sound. Hoo, ho, ho, snoring like a bull, loud and very harsh. The snoring was sonorous and powerful, and just by listening to the sound, one could tell that the other person was not an ordinary person. But Lin Yan couldn't help but want to laugh. This snore. How much sleep do you have to have? Zephyr is not surprised by this. Green Bull has 3 hobbies: sleeping, beautiful women, and drinking. Yi Xiao has a clear grasp of Green Bull's preference. How to wake him up? Lin Yan nodded and asked. It's easy. Yi Xiao placed the wine jar in his hand on the stone table, and then gently opened the lid. In an instant, the fragrance overflows. The warm aroma of wine spreads around the entire thatched cottage. In less than 10 seconds, the snoring in the house stopped. Clang. Then the door was opened in the blink of an eye. The sun shone in, and a man with disheveled hair and disheveled clothes walked out, as if he had just woken up. He had long dark green hair, a toothpick in the corner of his mouth, and a rebellious face. At the same time, he muttered, "Why does it smell so good?" "Because I just woke up." The anxious green bull hasn't figured out the situation yet. When he saw a smile, he suddenly woke up from his sleepiness. A smile? After seeing Yishao, Green Bull was overjoyed and quickly walked to Yishao in 3 steps and then 2 steps. He grabbed Yishao's collar with one hand. "You bastard, what brought you here today? Tell the truth, are you in debt outside? Are you going to hide here?" Hiding debt? Lin Yan's mouth twitched, and he secretly thought that the honest and charming smile in his impression was still such a person. Zephyr glanced and smiled. He spoke very highly of Yishao. He is humble, courteous and modest, and he is also a righteous person. Unexpectedly, it is even such a person. There are also dark spots that cannot be erased. Zephyr stopped himself from laughing. Ahem, someone is watching. As soon as he smiled and listened to the green bull coming up, he revealed his old tricks. He was impatient. "Bastard, don't tell those old things. I smile grandly, don't I lose face? These two are." The green bull also noticed Lin Yan and Zephyr beside him. Soon, I learned that the two of them were guests brought here by Yishao. Green Bull was also relieved. "Let's go in and sit down." Green Bull invited a few people to sit in the house. But, when entering the house, Zephyr and Lin Yan were both speechless. Inside the house, there was dust all over the place, and the whole house was covered with a gentle blow. Even they walk in. The footprints left in the dust are still clearly visible. This. Lin Yan and Zephyr looked at the green bull. "I forgot how long I slept, maybe 3 months, maybe half a year." Seeing that he couldn't sit in the room, Lu Niu touched his head and said slightly embarrassed. Hear his words. Lin Yan was surprised for a while. "Have you slept for more than half a year? I heard Yishao say before that sleeping is also one of his hobbies." At the time he didn't understand its meaning. Now when I see the green bull in this state, even he was slightly surprised. "Really? I love sleeping. This doesn't matter." Yishao waved with one hand, and several large rocks rose from the ground in the distance, followed by the pressure of the gravity fruit. The stone was extruded into stone tables and chairs. Placed in the courtyard of this old forest, it can be regarded as a temporary place for everyone to stay. After sitting down, Green Bull grabbed a jar and drank heavily. Sake enters throat. Wake up to a delicious wine. Not to mention how happy the Green Bull is. Next, a few people were drinking and chatting, when learned. This trip to Lin Yan and the others was to invite him to join their pirate group. "I was still wondering why you, Yishao, brought people to find me. It turns out you invited me to join your pirate group." Green Bull finally understood the purpose of their coming. "We are brothers who share weal and woe. I don't want to hide anything from you. Whether you refuse or agree, I respect your decision," Yishao said peacefully. "Hey." Listening to Yishao's words, Green Bull moved his eyes away and landed on Lin Yan. "Yes, you can actually persuade Yishao to join your pirate group." Because I slept for more than half a year. Green Bull doesn't know who Lin Yan is. But he knew Yishao's determination to join Marine. Now Lin Yan persuaded Lin Yan to switch to the 17th division. "I can tell. Lin Yan still has 2 brushes. It's overly praised. What do you think?" Lin Yan looked at the Green Bull and asked expectantly. "Yishao came here in person. If I don't give him face, won't it mean that he won't be able to survive in the 17th division in the future?" "I agree to join your pirate group." Green Bull agreed without thinking. He is different from Yishao. He has no obsession and is relatively open-minded. Said without politeness, as long as it interests him. Invitation from any force, he can agree to it. However, look at such a bold Green Bull. Lin Yan was shocked. It's that simple? These are just a few words. Another Marine Admiral Green Bull from the future agreed to join? Of course it won't be that simple. If you want to be my captain, there is only one condition, and that is to be better than me. Can you do it? The fighting spirit in the Green Bull's eyes gradually became stronger. Obviously, it is not that easy to invite Green Bull on board. That is to say, are we going to fight again? Lin Yan was speechless. He was so good, why were he always fighting and killing? Are you tired? First it was Zephyr, then Smile, and now here comes Green Bull. We are all civilized people. Can't you do things in a civilized manner? Of course. Lin Yan said this, but his body was quite honest. When he thought of being able to invite Green Bull on board, his eyes sparkled and he said, as you wish. For the Green Bulls, Lin Yan is impossible to miss. He wanted to take a good look. Yi Xiao and Lu Niu were both poached by him. In the future, the Summit War breaks out, and Marine's strength decreases sharply. Who will be there to replace the 2 vacant admiral positions? This is the thought. The smile on Lin Yan's face grew bigger and bigger. This time the discussion is over. Yi Xiao acted as the referee and created a venue for the 2 of them in the deep mountains. Fisties and kicks don't make sense, you have to be careful. Green Bull put his hands in his pockets and said with a toothpick in his mouth. Bring it on. Lin Yan hooked his hand. The 2 of them finished talking. Buzz. On the 2 of them, the auras of both sides gradually spread out. Collide together. All of a sudden, strong winds, smoke and dust, and fierce hurricanes swept through this mountain forest. Big trees swayed, grass and trees were turbulent, mountains collapsed, and boulders were crushed. Everything was restless in chaos. It was as if an extremely terrifying storm was about to hit. Be careful. The Green Bulls scored twice and issued a reminder for the 2nd time. Finished. The ground beneath Lin Yan's feet loosened violently. Then a green plant turned into a spear, burst out from the ground, and stabbed Lin Yan away. Extremely fast. It's impossible to react at all. Peeved. The green plants instantly passed through Lin Yan's body. But the bloody scene as imagined did not appear. Green Bull frowned. Afterimage. Good. What this spear hit was the afterimage of Lin Yan. Beside, Lin Yan settled on a tree trunk. Looking at the green spears protruding from the earth, he asked calmly, is this your devil fruit ability? Green Bull still had his hands in his pockets and did not move at all. You will know soon. Swish, swish, swish. Countless vines appeared around. Vines blocked Lin Yan from all directions. Thousands of vegetation turned into spears. He kept thrusting towards Lin Yan. Observation hockey is on. Lin Yan accurately avoided the invasion of these vines. At this moment, he suddenly found out. These vines actually have the ability to absorb plant nutrients. The vegetation covered with vines turned into dead grass and trees in an instant. Vibrant from before, until now it has withered and withered. It's not hard to imagine. If you are entangled by these vines, it will definitely be sucked dry by the terrifying devouring power and become the nourishment of the Green Bull. Lin Yan was still confused before. Why did Green Bull sleep for half a year without eating or drinking for a long time? Can he withstand it? Obviously. Get nutrients through devil fruit. This is the most important point of Green Bull's energy supplement. Be careful of the surrounding plants. In this forest, the Green Bull's combat power will skyrocket. I believe you can see it. Yi Xiao reminded from the side. Hey, Smile, I am your good brother. Why are you turning your elbows outward? Green Newton was unhappy. Okay. The thunder fruit was released in Lin Yan's hands, and all kinds of thunder and lightning were blessed in his hands. He causes fire with thunder and lightning, wherever thunder and lightning pass. Violent shock waves swept in all directions. Suddenly, flames burst out and the surrounding vegetation was swept away. Look at the flames that burn everything in front of you. Lin Yan couldn't help but think to himself, even dogs won't eat Mara fruit. It's true that anyone can do fire-based tricks. Watch as all the vegetation is engulfed in flames. Green Bull was unmoved at all. Hey, all my offensive methods have been burned by you. He will take his own hands, kicked out of his pocket. Now that the vegetation has been cleared, then we can only use the most primitive fighting method. The Green Bull squatted down. Then he was like an arrow leaving the string. The speed is so fast that it is almost difficult to see with the naked eye. Raise your fist. He punched Lin Yan, facing the Green Bull's attack. Lin Yan naturally saw that Green Bull wanted to suppress itself through power, so that the collision would gain the upper hand. But, on the collision of pure forces, who has he been afraid of? Lin Yan's reaction was unrelenting. He greeted him with a punch. Boom. The 2 fists clashed, and a fierce wave of air started from the 2 of them and spread out to the surroundings. The storm continues, the undercurrent surges, the huge waves surge into the sky, shaking the sky. The aftermath swept away. The ground was lifted up. One punch. The mountain beneath them exploded. Smoke and dust were everywhere, dust was flying, rocks were flying in the air, and wood chips were flying. Yishao put his hand in front of himself to offset the aftermath. After Zephyr neutralized the aftermath, he looked at Lin Yan and the Green Bull who were fighting, and he sighed. The younger generation is terrible. Bang bang bang. The two exchanged more than 20 punches again. However, at this time, Green Bull was shocked to find out. Lin Yan's power is actually greater than his own. Every collision of pure force, he himself is at a disadvantage. It seems. This is Lin Yan's strength. Don't get too hung up on this. Then, Green Bull jumped out and held it with one hand, ground thorn. It's too late, it's fast. The ground suddenly cracked. The roots of the plants in the earth suddenly shot out, and the spears formed from the roots were thrust towards Lin Yan. Lin Yan's figure flashed. Danger after danger was avoided. Didn't I burn the plants? Lin Yan was full of doubts. Why were there ground thorn traps in this land? Although the plants on the land have been burned by your fire, don't forget that the concentrated essence of those plants lies in the invisible underground rhizomes. The breeze blows, and the long green hair of the green cow is constantly fluttering. The so-called tall buildings rising from the ground want to grow into a towering tree. The rhizomes of some plants can even spread hundreds of meters downward. Besides, you don't really think that if these plants are destroyed by fire, I will be helpless against you. The Green Bull stood up, opened his hands, and then slammed the ground. Just like a certain Konoha shinobi's 3 rooms and 1 living room technique. Shuashawashua. Those plants that were burned out by a fire suddenly grew rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon, the mountain forest that was still full of fire just now has returned to its lush and green scene before. The Green Bull grabbed a vine. The vine straightened and turned into a spear. The Green Bull stabbed Lin Yan sharply. A layer of armament haki covers Lin Yan's arms. Relying on armament haki, Lin Yan blocked the Green Bull's blow with his bare hands. Who would have expected it at this time? The corners of Green Bull's mouth raised slightly. You've been fooled. He didn't wait for Lin Yan to react. However, the vine that was just a spear wrapped around Lin Yan's arm at lightning speed. Even if it's just one level away from armament haki, the vines are also absorbing Lin Yan's power. What? Looking at the vines absorbing nutrients through armament haki, Lin Yan had a rare surprise on his face. This was something he had never encountered before. Is this Green Bull's devil fruit ability? Armament haki doesn't work? Yes. After years and months of practice. Even if it is armament haki's defense, the Green Bull's ability can still erode into it. This is his advantage. It is also one of Marine Admiral's most important trump cards in the future. Once you are entangled in my vines, it is almost impossible to escape. The winner is already decided, little brother. You lose. Green Bull vowed to Lin Yan. I lost. When Lin Yan heard this, his face remained unchanged and no changes could be seen. After the competition just now, you are indeed very strong. In terms of overall strength, you are not even weaker than me and Yishao. And the reason why you lost to me is just because you are not familiar with my abilities. Stop it. If you continue like this, I will drain you dry. Green Newton paused, and then he said calmly, of course, unless you have a stronger defense than armament haki and forcefully break the shackles of my vines. However, I guess there won't be anything harder than armament haki in this sea. Stronger defense than armament haki? Listen to the Green Bull. Lin Yan raised his head slightly. For others, maybe this trick really has no solution, but in terms of defense, it is even stronger than armament haki. Lin Yan. There happens to be, in an instant. In his eyes, a flash of scarlet flashed out. Mangekyo Sharingan. It's on. Lin Yan looked at the Green Bull in front of him and said, I have not really wanted to use this move all this time. Green Bull, you are the first. Listen to Lin Yan's words, and his posture of preparing to counterattack. Green Bull's devil fruit is specially developed for armament haki ability users. Now he is bound by his own fruit ability, but he still wanted to fight stubbornly. Green Bull shook his head. No matter what your efforts. But it's all in vain. Since you want to compete, then I will satisfy you. Green Bull stepped forward, opened his palms, and the plant's absorption ability became stronger. Watch this scene. Even Yishao and Zephyr sighed. He knows. Lin Yan is going to lose. Sometimes, it's easy to lose yourself by winning all the time. Occasional setbacks can make life more fulfilling. This is the first defeat. Just let the green cow give it to him. Just when Green Bull, Yishao and even Zephyr all thought that Lin Yan would definitely lose. Suddenly, boom! A strong aura erupted at the scene. Immediately afterwards, a ray of blue light, centered on Lin Yan, spread out to the surroundings. The ground roared incessantly, and wind and thunder rolled around. In the eyes of Green Bull, Yishao, and Zephyr. But Lin Yan clapped his hands, followed by him. A pile of green-blue skeletons rose from the ground, wrapping Lin Yan in it. A terrifying force rushed over, kicking up all the dust around him. Even the Green Bull restrained Lin Yan's vines. They were all broken in an instant. What? The vines broke and blood spurted out of the green cow's mouth. Why are his vines so strong? It was naturally bound to his body, and once the vine broke, it was almost like tearing off one of his arms. The Green Bull collapsed and was seriously injured. Distance. Lin Yan stood where he was. He raised his head and looked at the skeleton covering his body. This is Susanoo initial form. Actually, this is not Lin Yan's first time using Susanoo. Back when I first started getting Mangekyo Sharingan, he tried to activate Susanoo. However, Lin Yan underestimated Susanoo's terrifying consumption ability in less than an hour and a half. He just felt as if all the strength in his body had been drained away. Even the eyes were affected. Susanoo, the consumption is too great. Lin Yan realized, before becoming Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, the number of times Susanoo is used must be within a controllable range. Once it's exceeded, what happened to those Uchiha clan people? But there's no need to say more. Okay, this is why Lin Yan. The reason why Susanoo is not shown often, just like he said. Let him take out the Susanoo. Green Bull is the first. What ability is this? Feeling the overwhelming arrogance on Lin Yan's body, even Zephyr, who had always been experienced, was shocked. He is a marine admiral from the old days. What kind of storms have you never seen? But whether it's Rocks, Roger, Whitebeard or the now popular Kaido, none of them have ever had abilities like Lin Yan. For Zephyr, unheard, unseen, seeing the sudden change in Lin Yan's aura, Zephyr was in shock for a long time and couldn't extricate himself. Also shocked was Yishao. A smile makes you blind. Not visible, but it didn't affect his perception of power at all. He obviously noticed it. At this moment, Lin Yan's aura began to change. Is this his trump card? He raised his head with a smile and pointed his ears in Lin Yan's direction. Certainly. The most shocking thing is the Green Bull. It's this skeleton. It directly broke the vines wrapped around Lin Yan's body. To know. His vines. That's an existence that armament hockey can penetrate into. What does this mean? What does it mean? The ability and defense displayed by Lin Yan in front of him even far exceeded armament hockey. Although Green Bull is not as old as Zephyr, but he is also a person who has seen strong winds and waves. However, whether it's Zephyr or Green Bull, the strength shown by Lin Yan, they were so unfamiliar. It's so unfamiliar that I can't even begin. Lin Yan moved. Taking Susanoo with him, he attacked the Green Bull in front of him. Green Bull had been injured before. Now under Lin Yan's help. How can one resist? Suddenly, his whole body was blown away. Crash down mountains. All the vegetation is tilted towards it. The Green Bull was determined to resist, but in the face of absolute strength, even with the Marine Admiral, it is difficult to resist. However, Green Bull is not one to admit defeat. He held on to his injured body and faced off against Lin Yan's Susanoo. This day, it was destined to be the end of this archipelago. Because of the confrontation between Lin Yan and the Green Bulls. Violent hurricanes, violent earthquakes, mountains exploded, stars moved, and even many islands were sunk. The natural chasm appeared in front of everyone, sinking into the depths of the sea. Finally, the battle ends and the ending is revealed. The Green Bull could no longer hold on. The body fell heavily to the ground. Devastated. Yishao said it before, both parties are done. After the Green Bull fell, Lin Yan also removed his Susanoo. He also felt a little uncomfortable. There was fine sweat on the forehead. Susanoo's consumption is still very terrifying. Ha 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 ha. Seeing his defeat, Green Bull looked pale and weak. But, unknowingly, a smile appeared on his face, and he even laughed heartily. How many years? He hadn't fought so happily in many years. And he was beaten head-on by others, this physical and mental pleasure. Green Bull has not experienced this for an unknown amount of time. I really didn't expect that it would be such a result. Lin Yan. I recognize you. After this competition. Green Bull. He also successfully joined Lin Yan's 17th Division team. Since then, the two future admirals from Marine fell into the hands of Lin Yan. Next. Just look at how Marine allocates his 2 Marine Admiral spots that will be vacant soon. Unconsciously, the smile on Lin Yan's face became stronger and stronger. If 2 lucky people succeed in becoming the next Marine Admiral. Lin Yan. You're welcome, you deserve this. Before coming. There are only 3 people, Lin Yan, Zephyr and Yishao. But on the way back, they have a new addition to their team. Good. It's the Green Bull, Port of the Islands. The people from Division 17 have been waiting here for a long time. Looking at the new Green Bull who joined the 17th Division. Many students had sharp eyes. He looked at the green cow in front of him like he was looking at a curious baby. This is it. Is the person their squad leader took great pains to invite? He looks very tall and imposing. Lin Yan said to everyone, return. The sails of the ship are raised to meet the sea breeze. Everyone began to move in the direction of the Whitebeard pirates. Lin Yan sits on the mast. His gaze. Looking at the more than 200 people below. He was filled with emotions, do not forget. When he left the Whitebeard pirates, Lin Yan just wanted to try his luck on the sea. He really didn't expect it. This took less than a few days. Such a large-scale squad was established, except myself. When I think about it, there are 3 admiral-level beings in the squad. Lin Yan was a little excited just thinking about it. Previously, he was still anxious and worried that the summit war was about to break out. Now, after so many people have settled down. Anxiety. Worried. I think the one who should be anxious and worried should be Marine. When I think about it, just me, a member of the 17th Division, can surpass your entire senior management. Not to mention the other squads and the strongest man in the world, Whitebeard. Want to start a summit war? Come on though. Pressure. Now we're on Marine's side. Zephyr, Yishao, and Green Bull all joined in. In a happy mood. On the way back, Lin Yan also started humming a tune. He was lying on the mast, basking lazily in the sun. A person is in a good mood. Everything goes smoothly. Hey, you're the Green Bull, how about we show signs? The ride back was a bit boring. Suddenly, some students wanted to try the Green Bull's strength. A smile may make you blind, but everyone has seen his strength with their own eyes. That was no less than their captain. Naturally, the students would not, or dare not challenge a smile. But Green Cow is different. First of all, the students have never seen the strength of Green Bull. Secondly, I am also very curious about the Green Cow. So they took the initiative to make a fight with Green Bull. Green Bull itself is not a sit-down owner. He learned that these students actually asked him to fight. A sly look flashed in Green Bull's eyes. Are you sure you want to fight? I can give you a chance to regret it. He had a fight with Lin Yan, although it is rare to have a hearty battle. He was very happy both physically and mentally. But after all, he lost, and he couldn't help but feel a little resentful. Now, these students suddenly bumped into each other. Green Bull is worried that he has no place to vent his anger. But as an old-timer, Green Bull still gave them a chance to regret it. Ha ha ha, it's just a competition, there's no regrets. The students have not yet realized the seriousness of the problem. Zephyr shook his head. These own students. Still lack of training. Just right. Let's use the hands of the green ox to give them a good rub of their energy. Soon. The two sides set up a scene on this deck. When the students were all ready to prepare. But Green Bull just put his hands in his pockets. It's too troublesome to come one by one. Come on all of you together. Seeing the Green Bull's posture of 1 against 100, the students became dissatisfied. Damn it. You don't take us seriously. They hit the Green Bull's gun barrel with enthusiasm. Then. There were more than 200 students present. The person who was hammered by the Green Bull was knocked off his back. Everyone has a bruised nose and a swollen face. His face was covered in bruises. They fell on the deck in confusion. Everyone seemed to be wearing a mask of pain. Listen to the wailing. After Green Bull got on the ship, he also learned that these people were Zephyr students. Green Bull also had great respect for old-time figures like Zephyr. He said, "These students of yours have good foundations, but unfortunately they are too young, but they are also malleable talents. Zephyr put down the teacup in his hand. It's just that the character needs to be tempered. I'll trouble you to give them lessons in the future. Green Bull rubbed his hands. Hey, I like class. Just when everything was peaceful in the 17th division, the sentry on the deck noticed something strange. On the distant sea level, a huge pirate ship was slowly approaching. Capture this message. The sentry quickly shouted to Lin Yan. Sorry, Captain, a pirate ship has appeared in the southeast. Hear his words. Lin Yan looked toward the southeast and saw a dark figure approaching from a distance. But because of the distance, everyone couldn't see it very clearly. Lin Yan asked, "Whose ship is that?" The sentry raised the telescope in his hand, adjusted the focus, and when he saw the beast's pirate's flag hanging on it, he replied, "Captain, he is from the Mammoth Pirates." Mammoth Pirates? Lin Yan remembered it. Wasn't it the pirate ship that relied on the ship King Jack the Drow? 2. The current 17th Division is still within the jurisdiction of the Beast's pirates. Not even out of Wano Kuni yet. Meet the people of the Beast Group. Nothing but normal. Jack the Drow? It's a bit tricky. Yishao lowered his head and wiped his crutches. I heard that New World's 3 disasters are very powerful. It's really a bit tricky. Green Bull also imitated a smile and said, Jack the Drow, that is an existence that Marine has put a bounty of 1 billion on. This is a formidable enemy. My advice is, keep it tight. Lin Yan laughed. Listening to the 3 people talking to each other, it was like singing a ring show. Zephyr couldn't help but sigh. He felt like he was getting old. I can't keep up with these late wave thoughts. Among the 4 of them, just pick one up and it will beat up Jack the Drow. As a result, we chatted. It directly pushed a 3 disaster Jack to the status of 4 Emperors Kaido. That's their current configuration. Even if Kaido does come, he still has to lie down. Talking about the Mammoth Pirates, they also discovered the fleet that appeared in the field of vision at first. It stands to reason, for ships in their own waters. Jack didn't care. However, when I saw the flag of the Whitebeard Pirates floating on the ship, Jack's bell-like eyes stared. Why did the Whitebeard Pirates fleet appear in the waters of their Beast's pirates? Something is fishy. Jack made a quick decision. He raised his hand with bulging veins and pointed in the direction of Lin Yan's fleet. Pull the ship over. Accompanied by the Mammoth Pirates approaching. Distant weather. Ghastly dark clouds are coming, with lightning and thunder in the black clouds, and lightning piercing the sky, which is quite a sign of the end of the world. This is the special effect that comes with Jack the Drow's appearance. As the Mammoth Pirates advanced, Black Cloud followed closely behind. One glance passed. It puts a lot of pressure on people. Standing on the deck, Lin Yan looked at the scene of dark clouds. He couldn't help but sigh. It is said that Jack the Drow has a bounty of 900 million ivory on 1 billion. But in his opinion, there are only 100 million ivory. The remaining 900 million are at least on this special effect. Look at that man standing under the majestic black clouds, wearing fur and black clothes, with long and thick ivory tusks, majestic and majestic. Facing the sea breeze, my hair is dancing wildly. Although the strength is not strong, but this card is still awesome. Lin Yan touched his chin. Have the opportunity. He also wanted to create a special effect for such a grand debut. Support the scene. Zephyr, Yishao, and Green Bull stood behind Lin Yan respectively. Everyone looked at Jack the Drow, who was slowly approaching, as if they were looking at idiots. To fight or not to fight? Lin Yan asked the 3 of them. Random. A smile indicates whether to fight or not. I'm free too. Zephyr is fine with that. Hey, don't be careless. If you want to fight, you have to send someone to do it. I have been peeking with you for the past 2 days. The beatings have given me backache, leg cramps. Say it first. I don't want to move. The battle was tiring, especially since Lin Yan's opponents these past 2 days were Zephyr, Yishao and Green Bull. He wanted to rest. I don't want to go either. Yishao is more peace-loving. You won't let me, an almost 80-year-old man, deal with Jack. Zephyr looked at Lin Yan and said, how about we rock paper scissors? Lin Yan suddenly made this suggestion. A smile. Zephyr. While several people were chatting, Jack the Drow has been posted. As the captain, Jack immediately spotted Lin Yan standing in the 17th division. The moment I saw him, Jack was stunned at first, and then he sneered. I know who the shady Whitebeard Pirates appeared in the waters of our Beast's pirates, and it turned out to be you. Lin Yan was slightly surprised. Do you know me? Jack the Drow naturally recognizes Lin Yan. A while ago, it became famous all over the world and resounded throughout the Grand Line. But even though Lin Yan became the captain of the 17th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates. But in Jack's opinion, he's just the latest minion promoted by Whitebeard. How strong is a little guy? Plus, Jack the Drow itself is extremely conceited. Except for the Captain Kaido, the two eldest brothers Jin and Quinn. He really has never served anyone. Forrest? Jack has never even heard of this name. He doesn't even have the qualification to enter the Marine Bounty Library. Just such a person. Why should he pay attention to it? Tell me, what do you want to do in my waters of beasts pirates? Jack the Drow raised his chin arrogantly, looked at Lin Yan in front of him condescendingly, smiled, Green Bull and others. I said we were passing by, do you believe it? Lin Yan answered towards Jack. Passing by? I think you don't take me seriously. Jack the Drow sneered. On this Grand Line. Because there is a giant like Marine who is eyeing him. 4 emperors weighs the pros and cons. The water in the well never interferes with the water in the river. For this, Jack naturally knows it well, but just because others abide by this unwritten rule does not mean that he must abide by it as well. Notice. This is the sea area under the jurisdiction of their beasts pirates. It's all already inside Wano Kuni. Suddenly a ship from another pirate group appeared. If it had been someone else, be furious too. You Whitebeard pirates are really brave. Do you want to start a war? Jack the Drow raised his scythe, pointed at Lin Yan in front of him and said angrily. You are Jack the Drow with 900 million tusks, how dare I start a war with you? Lin Yan glanced at Jack the Drow with a smile and said. 9 billion ivory? Jack paused for a moment, confused. But looking at Lin Yan's half-smiling look, not a good thing to say either. I won't cry until I see the coffin. Good, you pissed me off. Jack the Drow's face darkened, thinking that his reward of 1 billion had been stagnant for many years. Just right. Take this opportunity today. Let him take a step further by stepping on this new and ignorant captain of the Whitebeard pirates. Go to hell, Jack the Drow said coldly. Lin Yan actually doesn't plan to play against Jack the Drow. After fighting for so many days, everyone else is numb. In the spirit of doing more, it is better to do less. Besides, they were already planning to leave Wano Kuni. Who knew Jack the Drow would appear halfway through? He held them tightly and refused to let them go. Alas, it seems that the only solution is to use force. Lin Yan sighed. Give it to me. Standing behind Lin Yan, Green Bull stood up. He was very unhappy after losing to Lin Yan. Although more than 200 students had just been severely beaten. It comes down to the bottom line. They are all family members from now on. The green cow has its hands tied and has to keep its hands everywhere. So much so that there was a fire in my heart. Still can't vent it out, just at this moment. The mammoth pirates collided. Jack the Drow, right? 3 plagues of beasts, right? There's a reward of 1 billion, right? I heard that you are the elite of the 100 Beasts group. Lousy as F***King elite. Jack the Drow. Let me be your opponent. Green Bull raised his hand and pointed at Jack the Drow on the mammoth pirates. Come on Green Bull. Lin Yan greeted Green Bull from behind. Zephyr and Yishao also watched the conflict that was about to break out with interest. But Jack the Drow frowned. He glared and scolded Lin Yan. Boy, what do you mean? Who is he? The 3 plagues of beasts pirates. Cadre of beasts pirates. There is a bounty of 1 billion on Marine's head. Now he asked Lin Yan to fight by name. The results of it? Lin Yan actually sent an unknown guy out. What's the meaning? Do you look down on me or what? Where do you have the confidence to be so arrogant? If you want to fight, just fight. Where's all this nonsense? I have been holding back a lot of anger today, and I am worried that I have no place to vent it. Green Bull snorted coldly. Since you are in a hurry to be reincarnated, I will give you a ride. Jack was furious on the spot. Lin Yan is arrogant. But after all, he is also a squad leader. You are a little one. What qualifications do you have to scream in front of him? Bullshit rules between 4 emperors? To hell with them all. Jack the Drow kicked the deck. The deck of their mammoth pirates was shattered by him. And Jack the Drow leapt up. It hit the Green Bull. The Green Bull returned the favor with a grim expression. Their fists collided. Boom. Pure power exploded from the fist, and waves of air were released one after another. The seawater is turbulent, the undercurrent is turbulent, swaying endlessly, deafening. But just at this second, Jack the Drow's expression changed. He made an unexpected discovery, on strength. He is actually no match for the green bull in front of him. What? Jack the Drow's eyes widened, and he looked at the green bull in front of him in disbelief. This guy. Where did he come from? The strength is actually far above his own. He's Jack the Drow. He is the 3 disasters of the 100 Beasts group. Own strength. Once upon a time. So insignificant? The green bull doesn't care how shocked Jack the Drow is. His anger brewed in his fists, and the power in his hands exploded for the second time. The power contained inside is like a comet hitting the earth. The overwhelming arrogance permeated the entire scene. And Jack the Drow, who was still arrogant and domineering just now. In Green Bull's powerful punch, his stomach was turbulent and his body seemed to be falling apart. His mouth was sweet and blood spurted out. Jack the Drow exploded, hitting the mammoth pirates head on. The mammoth pirates were all smashed and exploded on the spot, with debris flying everywhere and the sandwich shattering. The members of the mammoth pirates fell into the sea one after another. All of a sudden, there were screams. The sea is filled with howls. Thump. Jack the Drow was also punched into the sea by the green bull. The calm sea felt as if a boulder had been dropped. A wave as big as a tsunami rippled around. Not for a while. Jack the Drow is silent. It goes without saying that seawater and seastone have limitations on a demon fruit power. One punch. Green Bull killed Jack the Drow with just one punch. Watch this scene. Lin Yan, Yishao, Zephyr and others are okay. After all, they are people who have seen the strength of Green Bull. But the students around them couldn't calm down at all. To know. Before that, they are the people who once challenged the Green Bull to a fight. Then, more than 200 students were defeated by Green Bull alone. They are all students of Zephyr, their hearts are as high as the sky, and naturally they are not convinced. However, when I saw the Green Bull kill Jack the Drow with one punch, everyone was immediately stunned, silly, sluggish. Huge shock and uproar followed. Pass it on to every student. The Green Bull killed a Jack the Drow from the Beast group. A sudden situation. The crowd was stunned. Everyone looked dumbfounded. Some people even rubbed their eyes vigorously because they didn't believe what they were seeing. Jack the Drow. Although his strength is not as good as that of the Imperial Deputy, he is still the leader in the 100 Beasts group. Otherwise, Marine would not have put a bounty of more than 1 billion on his head. Unparalleled strength. Plus, Kaido of the Beasts is in charge. This is why the Beasts pirates, the Sea Emperors of the New World, are impregnable. But even so, Jack the Drow, who had few opponents in the New World, was also killed by the Green Bull with one punch. Damn it. Is this the strength of Green Bull? Is this the person their squad leader personally came to recruit? You said that if you spent a long time to defeat the 3 disasters of the Beast group. We can still understand. The issue is, not only did you defeat him, you also killed him instantly with one punch. Oh my god. Damn it. Is this the 3 disasters of the 4 Emperors pirates? I'm a little disappointed. The Green Bull landed on the deck of their fleet. He clapped his hands with no emotion on his face, as if he had defeated an insignificant person. This. Nima. This tone, this strength. Listen. As this human language. The students felt very uncomfortable listening to Green Niyu's words. Aren't you happy to have killed 3 disasters with one punch? If only we had half your strength. He has already flown into the sky and is shoulder to shoulder with the sun. Suddenly, everyone remembered the famous scene where they fought against the Green Bull. I didn't expect it to be so good here. Think of this. The students on the boat suddenly felt extremely uncomfortable. Them. What kind of monster did they challenge before? Still not convinced. Not convinced. You never know how much acting skills your enemy will use to coordinate with your performance in order to appear mediocre. After this storm, the students looked at the Green Bull. They all became admired. A flash. 5 days passed. Lin Yan led the 17th Division team he formed. Returned to the waters of the Whitebeard pirates. Are you going to meet this old boy Whitebeard? Zephyr looked at the Whitebeard pirates who were gradually approaching, and a meaningful look suddenly appeared on his vicissitudes of life. Old boy? Lin Yan glanced at Zephyr. Right. I'm afraid only people who came out of the old era are qualified to call him this. Even Akainu, even Aokiji. In front of Whitebeard, he is just a brat. I remembered that I was still alone when I left Baituan. A blink of an eye. There are already groups of people behind you. It's a great achievement, at the port of the Whitebeard pirates. Lin Yan suddenly spotted several familiar figures. Marco, Josie, and Izo appeared at the port one after another. Saw these three people. Lin Yan looked confused. Hey, why are you all here? Marco, Josie, and Izo looked at each other. Saw Lin Yan returning. On their faces, there are very rich expressions and expressions. Then they formed a triangle. Block Lin Yan in the center. A sense of déjà vu as a strong man locking up men. Lin Yan's mouth twitched. Why are you looking at me like that? After a long time, Marco asked. Lin Yan, you have only been out for a few days, but you have not made as much noise as usual. Don't you want to explain it to us? Motion. What movement? Lin Yan has not yet realized the meaning of their words. Oh? As a person involved, don't you know the magnitude of what you have done? Yi Zhang was shocked, he said in surprise, not long after. In Lin Yan's doubtful eyes, he will give a newspaper. Sent to Lin Yan's eyes. What was clearly posted on it was the news of the demise of the Mammoth Pirates. And destroy their instigator. It was Lin Yan in front of me. Okay, you actually destroyed the entire Mammoth Pirates. Chaozi stretched out his big, thick hand, hugged Lin Yan's shoulders, and said with a smile. Although our Whitebeard pirates and the Beasts pirates have unwritten rules, their three plagues are often hostile to us. Well done, Lin Yan. Yi Zhang also came up, one on the left and one on the right, squeezing Lin Yan in the middle. Really strong man locking up men. The Mammoth pirates were wiped out. It can be said that he broke an arm of the 100 Beasts group. How could they be unhappy? Okay, stop sticking to me. Lin Yan pushed the two of them away, he was a little puzzled. They just casually wiped out the Mammoth pirates, it wasn't a big deal. But the problem is, that sea area at that time. Only the members of their 17th division and the Mammoth pirates were there. In other words, there are no bystanders. Here comes the problem. Since there are no bystanders. Who is it again? What about spreading the news? During Lin Yan's questioning, the truth came out. Jack the Drow is not dead. Dragging his broken body, he returned to Wanakuna's Onigashima and reported the news to Kaido of the Beasts. Then because Kaido questioned Whitebeard. Hence the news that the Mammoth Regiment was brutally destroyed in the Wano-kuni incident. It also spread throughout the world. Not dead? Lin Yan thought of Jack who fell into the sea. No, they were all beaten into that state by the Green Bull. He even fell into the sea, but he didn't die? Hear the news. Green Bull also narrowed his eyes. Although his strength is not very good, his vitality is not that stubborn. However, the stronger the vitality, the more I like it. Next time I have a chance, let me squeeze him dry. Lin Yan. Because of what happened this time, Kaido has contacted Whitebeard. The Mammoth Pirates are a very important team under Beasts Pirates. As a result, if the group is destroyed, the group will be destroyed. This blow. Kaido was more or less overwhelmed. He wants Whitebeard to give an explanation. Is Kaido looking for trouble? Lin Yan asked. Naturally, it is impossible for Kaido to come here in person, and it is impossible for the four emperors to meet easily. Especially when the Whitebeard pirates and the Beasts pirates are not in harmony to begin with. He contacts Whitebeard via a phone bug. Don't worry, Dad didn't pay any attention to him at all, and even kept praising you for being able to get into trouble. Also, Dad said that if you come back, he wants to ask you what happened. Let's go see Dad, Marco said with a smile. Beasts pirates is missing a piece of meat. They Whitebeard is naturally happy. Okay. Lin Yan nodded. But before that, I have to take you to meet someone. Who? Meet someone? Who is this guy? Marco just looked at Lin Yan. Soon. Behind Lin Yan, Zephyr walked up. Big. Admiral. The moment they saw Zephyr, Marco, Josie, and Izo quickly entered a state of alert. Then. They were just ordinary pirates, but I was often suppressed by these admirals. This all forms muscle memory, be ready immediately. A particularly solemn look appeared on his face. When the three squad captains saw Zephyr, they became wary. The atmosphere at the scene was tense, in the blink of an eye. It's time to reach a point where we draw swords against each other. Compared to three division captains, Zephyr is much calmer. There are no unnecessary movements, like a rock, standing in place. Don't be so nervous. Lin Yan stood up and tried to mediate between the two parties. At this time, He also explained why. Zephyr. He is already a member of his 17th division. Nani? If they had seen Zephyr in their own territory before, the three captains were just a little surprised. Now, when I heard that Zephyr actually joined their Whitebeard pirates. Whether it's Marco, Josie, or Yizang, the three people were dumbfounded on the spot. As two major competing forces at the same time. Just ask. Who among the Whitebeard pirates doesn't know the name of Black Arm Zephyr? That was an existence that gave their father a huge headache back then. Now, Black Arm Zephyr actually turned around and joined their Whitebeard pirates? The three of them immediately thought that Lin Yan was joking. This was completely impossible, okay? But facts speak louder than words. Moreover, they don't think so either. Lin Yan would use this kind of thing to deceive them. Zephyr Admiral, are you serious? Izo felt his voice trembling. Looking at the real ex-Marine Admiral in front of me. What is a fantasy? This is a fantasy. If Dad finds out about this, God knows what kind of expression he will show. Jose took a breath and said, I hope Dad won't get sick from being frightened. Marco hesitated slightly and said bitterly. Lin Yan has just returned to the Whitebeard pirates. There are still many things waiting for him to deal with in the 17th division. Such as Diazepam Zephyr et al. For example, settling more than 200 crew members. He asked the three Marcos to report the matter first, so as not to meet Zephyr later. Whitebeard was stunned. Marco and the others left. Lin Yan, on the other hand, took Zephyr and the crew back to the territory of Division 17. Looking at my new home, the crew members of Division 17 were all overjoyed. They looked left and right, looking here and there. At the same time, aboard Moby Dick, Zephyr is here? Whitebeard stood up from his chair with a look of shock and disbelief on his face. Long before coming, Marco and others were already prepared. Dad, this is absolutely true, Zephyr is right there in Lin. This old boy, has he really joined our Whitebeard pirates? Whitebeard was still a little in disbelief. After all, the two had clashed no less than dozens of times that year. Hit and hit. Friendship was also established. In this world, almost everyone in the previous era has died. Roger, Kazuki Odin, Rox, etc. Even those who were lucky enough to survive from the old era were all over 70 years old, let alone live to Whitebeard's age. However, Zephyr is one of them, although they were once enemies, but now, both of them have reached the point where they are almost buried in the ground. It's extremely cold at high places, as everyone around him moved away one after another. It's time to let go. All have been let go. Being able to talk to old friends at such an age. What a blessing. Whitebeard stood up and removed all the water from his body. Dad, you are. Looking at Whitebeard's movements, Marco asked in confusion. Gula la la la. How can you meet guests with this appearance? Whitebeard had a smile on his lips and a twinkle in his eye. Then, under the surprised gazes of Marco, Josie, Yizang and others, he dropped what he was doing. He immediately walked in the direction of Lin Yan's 17th division. Talking about Lin Yan, so many people suddenly joined Team 17. Lin Yan registered them one by one, busy with work. There are more people. There are more things going on. At least, Lin Yan cannot be the hands-off shopkeeper. Fishing without worries, it seems. I have to recruit a deputy captain. For this deputy captain, Lin Yan already has a plan. After a full day of processing, he has finally finished what he is doing. But, when Lin Yan returned to the hall, he was stunned. I saw this scene in the hall. Whitebeard and Zephyr collided. The scene is not so harmonious. The two sides were sitting at attention, and between them was a stone table. Whitebeard and Zephyr. There's actually an arm wrestling here. They say shock fruit made you the strongest man in the world, but in my opinion, it's nothing more than that. Zephyr looked at Whitebeard in front of him with a sneer and said, Gu la la la, you are a lot older and your tone is still young. I want to see what you can do with me in a game of strength. Whitebeard was also blowing his beard and staring. He sneered at Zephyr. On both sides, you mock me and I mock you. Smiling on the surface, but the wrist strength in the hand. But it keeps getting stronger. Crack. With the support of their wrists, the stone table suddenly collapsed. The power even reaches the ground. The ground also had cracks due to the arm wrestling between the two. Whitebeard rarely meets an old friend again. Naturally, I was very happy. And after Zephyr solved the knot about Edward Wabel, it also gradually restored its former appearance. He learned that Whitebeard came to challenge him personally. And they all took it without saying a word. In addition to arm wrestling, they also tried many other methods. The two sides can be regarded as winners and losers. They are equally matched and it is difficult to tell each other apart. But that's why this damn desire to win showed up. Today. They have to decide who wins and loses no matter what. Come again. Whitebeard said proudly. Aren't you afraid? Zephyr responded soon after. Hey, that's enough of you. If this fight continues, do you want to demolish this place? Lin Yan said silently towards the two of them. He thought so at first. After the two old antiques meet, they will have a good chat for a while, and then start an earth-shattering battle. Look at this stone table. They were all shattered into powder by the strength of the two of them. It was indeed an earth-shattering battle. Since there is no way to continue the contest, Whitebeard came up with another idea. Drink. How about we drink to determine who is strong and who is weak? You're so stupid, and you still want to drink? Do you think you have a long life? Zephyr sneered. What a coincidence, I really despise my longevity. Why, are you scared? If you're afraid, just admit defeat quickly. Our Whitebeard pirates have a rule. If you surrender, you'll lose half. Don't embarrass yourself here. Because Marco and Josie banned alcohol for the sake of his health. This made him very uncomfortable. So much so that he made small calculations all day long to beg for a few drinks. This time, in order to compete with Zephyr for wine, and at the same time because of his own greed for wine, Whitebeard immediately started to get angry. Haha, don't think I can't see your little thoughts. What if I don't drink? Zephyr sat in the chair. He crossed his legs and smiled. He directly pinched Whitebeard's 7 inches. Want to drink? Go ahead and dream. Whitebeard looked at Zephyr's appearance. He couldn't help but grit his teeth and thought to himself, Mud, you are no match for this dog. Can't drink wine. Whitebeard was angry. The two immediately fell out with each other. If you say something to me, I will say something back to you. Suddenly, throughout the hall, there was a lot of curses and curses. Yi Xiao, Green Bull, and Ain were all watching quietly. He didn't say anything either. Lin Yan simply said, Let me give you an idea, you go and compare acorns. As soon as this statement came out, the whole hall fell silent. Ain asked curiously, What is an acorn? Ahem. Yi Xiao and Lu Niu coughed and turned their heads. Neither Zephyr nor Whitebeard were glaring. The atmosphere became awkward. Lin Yan shook his head and smiled. Two old naughty boys, I can't cure you. He has been busy all day. The result is back here. And listen to the chatter of Zephyr and Whitebeard. I really have a headache, it seems. They were still too full. It's time to find something for you. Lin Yan was thinking silently in his mind. The next day. Early in the morning. The sun was rising and I had just vomited my stomach. Lin Yan directly announced a big event. From today on, Zephyr is the vice captain of our 17th division. He handed the title of deputy captain of Division 17 into Zephyr's hands. And Yang Yan, the future 17th division. All matters are handled by Zephyr. As soon as this statement came out, the crew members of Division 17 are relatively calm. They are all students of Zephyr. The teacher becomes the vice captain. They were naturally happy from the bottom of their hearts. But, as a party, Zephyr frowned deeply. How long has it been since he joined the 17th division? 1 day? 2 days? Lin Yan actually appointed himself the deputy captain. Whether it's a smile or a green cow. Even though Zephyr was once a marine admiral. But he also had to admit it. Along with the aging of the body. His strength. There is no way to compare with these two. In the world of pirates, strength is king. Neither Yi Xiao nor Green Bull became vice captains. Why do you hold this position? Forget it, this position is not suitable for me. Zephyr shook his head and immediately refused. Are you worried about Yi Xiao and Lu Niu? Lin Yan saw through Zephyr's concerns sharply. Zephyr didn't answer. But his look already gave the answer. I've already told Green Bull about this issue, and he doesn't have much demand for Captain Fan. As for Yi Xiao, blindness is one of his flaws. Obviously, the busy official life is not suitable for him at all. Furthermore, you have experience as a marine admiral. I think in this regard, let alone our 17th division, the entire Whitebeard Pirates group will not be able to find anyone who can compete with you. Lin Yan continued, just like what he said. Zephyr, who has already worked in Marine Admiral, has really strong business ability. If such people are not placed in their proper place, Lin Yan has serious doubts. Is my head going crazy? After Zephyr listened, he closed his eyes slightly. He naturally understood what Lin Yan meant, only. Zephyr was still a little hesitant. Stop being just that. From now on, you are the vice captain of the 17th division of our Whitebeard pirates. Let's see who dares to say no. Lin Yan patted Zephyr on the shoulder and said earnestly. Look at Lin Yan in front of you. Zephyr was shocked. Do not forget how he was abandoned by Marine not long ago. That sense of paleness and powerlessness. Zephyr understands this. Now I see that Lin Yan thinks so highly of himself. Give up everything and give yourself the identity of vice captain. He was moved. Among the details of Lin Yan, he saw trust, he saw respect, he even saw his future. No matter what the ending is, Zephyr only had one thought at the moment. You have come to the right place. Leave it to me, I won't let you down. Zephyr clenched his fists and said firmly, that's all. Zephyr naturally assumed the role of Lin Yan's vice captain. As deputy captain. Naturally, I have to fulfill my duties as vice captain. Then, all the official business that was originally piled up in Lin Yan's office. It all fell on Zephyr. And Lin Yan. Then he sneaked to the back mountain to go fishing. Yes. Just fishing. Since the last time I worked hard. How important is the identity of the vice captain? Lin Yan finally realized it. He was fishing, leaning leisurely on his small bench. Cross your legs. Facing the sun, my little life should be as comfortable as possible, so happy. That's why he did it. So why rush to dispatch Zephyr? No, there really aren't people who don't want to be a hands-off shopkeeper. Of course, he didn't understand Zephyr's thoughts at that time. If you know, Lin Yan will definitely cover his head. Zephyr. Thank you for thinking so well of me. Woohoo, I'm so ashamed. Ain has transformed into a personal secretary for the past 2 days, often following Lin Yan. Look at Lin Yan, who is so lazy. Ain said depressingly, Captain, you are too bad. Teachers have been forced to become your labor force. Why can't she see Lin Yan's little 99? What do you know? This is called making the best use of everything. Your teacher Zephyr has this ability. If I don't let him show it, won't he bury talents like him? Lin Yan responded confidently. At the same time, he waved. Pointing to his back, he said, my shoulders are a little sore after fishing for a long time. Please rub them for me. Ain pursed his lips. Reluctantly, she put her jade hand on Lin Yan's shoulder. Knead it for him delicately. Recently, because I have been following Lin Yan. Ain also prepared a boom for himself. Sitting next to Lin Yan, I wanted to try fishing with him. Regrettably, Ain really couldn't adapt to Lin Yan's boring fishing life. Then, she could only do a series of things like beating Lin Yan's back, squeezing his legs, serving tea and water, and so on. However, because of long-term contact, Ain suddenly found out. After fishing for several days, Lin Yan never seemed to catch any fish or shrimp. Nothing was gained. There was a hint of doubt in her beautiful eyes. Captain, what on earth are you fishing for? Is fishing lonely? Ain is a little unpredictable. By the way, where is today's newspaper? Lin Yan asked Ain. In addition to serving tea and water, beating my back and squeezing my legs. Delivering newspapers to Lin Yan every day is also a required course for Ain. Here's today's paper. Ain nodded, she had already prepared the newspaper. Take the newspaper. Lin Yan couldn't help but sigh, it's so nice to have a capable secretary. Soon, he was attracted by the contents of the newspaper. 11 supernovae arrive at Saboti Archipelago, the most evil era gathers. Looking at the contents of the newspaper, Lin Yan paused and asked, have the 11 supernovae been gathered together? Speaking of these supernovae, Lin Yan actually remembered the famous scene where a supernova was scared to bite him. Lin Yan touched his chin and said, next, will it be Kizaru's turn to come forward? In memory of the Saboti Archipelago, Lin Yan only remembers the famous scene of kicking a supernova. It seems to be behind. There will also be a health swordsmanship competition between Rayleigh and Kizaru. He held a hand to his forehead. It's been a while since I traveled through time. My brain capacity is a bit insufficient for this Celestial Dragons event. Lin Yan is not very interested. Love so much. Anyway, it won't affect you. However, while Lin Yan continued fishing leisurely, a subordinate of the Whitebeard pirates came to the back mountain and found Lin Yan. Captain 17, Dad wants to find you. Listen to the reports from your subordinates. Lin Yan stopped what he was doing. Looking for me? What to do? Lin Yan asked. The subordinate said, Dad is going to hold a meeting, and many division captains need to come forward together. Be informed of the situation. Lin Yan also stopped fishing. Then, he walked in the direction of Moby Dick. In about 10 minutes, Lin Yan landed on the Moby Dick. Just arrived here. Look beyond. Marco, Josie, Beasta and other squad captains are present. The only thing missing is yourself. You came. Seeing Lin Yan coming, Whitebeard motioned Lin Yan to sit down. In the conference room, the door is closed. Surrounded by all the captains, Whitebeard calmly said what was going to happen next. Ace hasn't contacted us for a long time. Speaking of Ace, Whitebeard frowned. He also began to worry in his heart. At first, because of the dark fruit incident, Blackbeard brutally killed his companions and betrayed the Whitebeard pirates. And Ace, as the squad leader, he resolutely embarked on a journey to capture Blackbeard. Regarding Ace's strength, naturally, everyone is not worried. But the problem lies precisely here. Before leaving, Whitebeard had told him to call and report news every once in a while. The first few weeks, Ace did, but recently, especially this month, no word from Ace. It's like the world has evaporated. They also called Ace a bug, but never got a response. This is the thought. This made Whitebeard hesitate. Ace him. Something might have happened. The squad captains also lowered their heads. They didn't believe Ace would actually be in any trouble. But if there is no trouble, why not contact them? Lin Yan heard this. He is very familiar with this section. Within a week of the Celestial Dragons incident, Summit War came. In other words, there are 7 days left. Summit War breaks out. Things are not optimistic. Time waits for no time, it is imminent. Lin Yan has also been busy recently forming the 17th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates. So much so that he almost forgot about Ace. These days, as the absolute dominant player on the Grand Line, Marine has not seen any movement at all. Obviously, they are setting up a big picture. A situation that is enough to shake up the entire Grand Line. Looking at Whitebeard, Marco, Josie, Izo and others in front of me. Lin Yan pondered. Do you want to tell this matter? After a while, he took a deep breath. This idea was rejected by him. Not to mention whether the Whitebeard pirates can be saved, it's just a matter of predicting the future. Can't explain it at all. Whitebeard said slowly. I have only one purpose for calling you here for this meeting, and that is to send someone to the Grand Line. No matter what, we must bring Ace back. Speaking of Ace, Whitebeard couldn't help but think of Saki. It was because of Blackbeard that the Whitebeard pirates became what they were. Then, why would you bring such a person on board? So much so that today's bitter consequences, it can only be swallowed by themselves. Think of this. Whitebeard couldn't help but clench his fists. Because he was too warm and angry, shock fruit appeared out of thin air. Power is constantly emerging. The air was constantly trembling and cracking. The squad captains looked at each other, although they all believe in Ace's strength. But as the saying goes, don't be afraid of 10,000, just be afraid of the eventuality. Blackbeard has been dormant in their Whitebeard pirate group for so many years for a dark fruit. No doubt. Dark fruit is destined to be an extraordinary devil fruit. Got it now. Blackbeard is even more powerful. What if Ace is really captured? But everyone is an optimist. Marco said to Whitebeard with a comforting voice. Don't worry, Dad. Ace is so powerful, no one can do anything to him. Besides, even if you don't give Ace face, you have to give us Whitebeard face. Josie followed closely. Yes, Marco is right. Hearing that it is from our Whitebeard pirate group, even the other 4 emperors, we have to weigh it. Yi Zhang was also worried and said, Dad, please take good care of yourself first. We have already lost a Saki, but we must not lose you again. Listen to everyone's comfort. Whitebeard felt a lot better. It's just that there is something about Ace. Leave this matter to me. The captain of the 8th Division, the fishman Namur, stood up. Dad, I'll get Ace back for you. The captain of the 7th Division, Rakyo, also said. I go. Jin Guduo, captain of the 11th Division, stood up. Many division captains came to ask for help, since Dad is so worried about Ace. Then they will go to the first half of the Grand Line to bring Ace back. At this time, Whitebeard also noticed Lin Yan, who was meditating in the corner. For Lin Yan, Whitebeard takes it very seriously. First, it is extremely powerful and terrifying. Secondly, he is extra calm than other division captains. Come 3. He even invited Zephyr on board, which shows his ability as Madara. Just as Whitebeard was about to speak, Lin Yan stood up directly from where he was. This time he got up. It immediately attracted the attention of other division captains. Marco, Josie, Beasta and others all turned their attention. It settled on Lin Yan. Lin Yan said calmly, "I'll go." His reason is simple. Just ask people present. Who knows dark fruit? Why did Ace lose to Teach, who had just obtained the dark fruit? First, underestimate the enemy. Theoretically speaking, Ace does not regard Teach as a powerful enemy. I go my own way. It wasn't until he discovered that Teach was no weaker than him that he became serious. Pity. It's too late. Second, don't understand dark fruit. To know. Teach was a man who had left 3 scars on the red-haired face, and his own strength should not be underestimated. In the game of power, Ace underestimated Teach's strength. In conjunction with this, dark fruit can achieve top SSR levels. Strength increased exponentially. Ace is no match. It makes sense. 2 reasons. In the end, Ace suffered a disastrous defeat. Teach's strength today. Not to mention the captains of the 11th Division, 10th Division, and 9th Division who were at the back. Even if you let Marco, Josie and other Royal Lieutenant level combat powers pass by. Rushing against Blackbeard. The winning rate will not exceed 50%. Even for not knowing dark fruit, will also cause the same results as Ace. Once this happens, for them, the Whitebeard pirates. No less than a fatal blow. And I won't go into detail about how huge the first half of the Grand Line is, but I want to find Blackbeard Teach. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. If they go. Summit War 7 days later. Who will join the war? Lin Yan is different from them. With the Thunder Fruit, his speed is already unparalleled. And Lin Yan is also particularly interested in dark fruit. He really wanted to try out what dark fruit was capable of. It allows Teach to spend most of his life dormant among the Whitebeard pirates. At last. This is also the most important point. Even if the Summit War breaks out, he can return to the White Group's base immediately. This is Lin Yan's advantage. After long discussions, the final result was finalized. Searching for Ace, searching for Blackbeard. Then it was handed over to Lin Yan. Lin Yan made an okay gesture. Same day, he left the Whitebeard pirates. Head towards the first half of the Grand Line. Teach, it's not easy to find him. Lin Yan was flying in the sky, with the strong wind roaring in his ears, and the sea below swept towards him in pieces. But, as the saying goes, mountain people have their own tricks, and Lin Yan also has his own methods. Shaki's tavern is a no-brainer. As a store manager, Shaki is an out-and-out information dealer. This is the only one in the entire Sabodi archipelago. At her place, as long as you are willing to pay, countless information can be purchased. However, when Lin Yan arrived at Sabodi archipelago and was about to go to the tavern, but he encountered setbacks, because at this moment, Sabodi archipelago is in chaos. In all directions, a large number of residents were fleeing, and the traders no longer cared about their small business. They ran away, and ran like crazy, just to leave this land of right and wrong. At the end of the horizon, a neat group of marine soldiers appeared, well organized and well equipped, and ran towards the cholera site. At the same time, explosions, gunshots, shouts, and fighting. There is an endless stream, stretching in all directions. It is clear. This has led to the current situation. It is the Celestial Dragons event of the Sabodi archipelago. As the protagonist, King Luffy was dissatisfied with the arrogance and domineering power of St. Charlos of Celestial Dragons, so he gave him a beating. As soon as this happened, the entire Sabodi archipelago was shocked. At the same time, the wrath of the world government is also coming. In an instant, everyone in the Sabodi archipelago marine branch went out to hunt down 11 supernovas. Marineford also temporarily dispatched Marine Admiral Kizaru to lead 10 warships and tens of thousands of marine soldiers. Such a large scale. Marine wants to wipe out this evil era full of evil in one go. This is a drama about the Marine Admiral War in an extremely evil era. Look at this situation. Lin Yan picked his ears. He had little interest in these extremely evil times. It's urgent. Still talking about arriving at Shaki's tavern. But at this moment, on the plains in the distance. But a woman with long pink hair and dripping with sweat appeared in front of Lin Yan. She was trying to run forward. From time to time, he turned to look behind him, his face was dusty, and his face was extremely ugly. Lin Yan's eyes stayed on her body for a long time. Then he showed a surprised expression, but he wasn't surprised at how beautiful this pink-haired woman was. But behind this woman, there are 500 Marines chasing her. Coincidentally, the direction in which this pink-haired woman was running was towards Lin Yan. Quick, Jewelry Bonnie's strength is exhausted, catch her. At the front of the 500 soldiers was a Marine colonel. He raised the long knife in his hand, pointed at the pink-haired woman and shouted loudly. Yes. This woman is being hunted by Marine. It was one of the 11 supernovae that Marine offered a bounty of over 100 million in the extremely evil era. A gluttonous girl. Jewelry Bonnie. Marine offers a bounty of 140 million Baileys. Come on. Catch him. Seeing supernova, which was almost overdrawn, 500 soldiers shouted to kill Genshin. More than 500 people stepped on the ground. It roared like a horse trampling the sky, deafening. Damn it. Can't you get rid of it? Jewelry Bonnie glanced at the Marine soldiers chasing behind her, and the sweat on her forehead was getting more and more. If it is an ordinary situation, it was not difficult for her to get rid of these 500 soldiers. The issue is, there are simply too many Marines today. In addition, she had also killed many powerful men in Marine before. Most of the physical strength is consumed, and so on. The recovery is also a bit behind the consumption. The number of Marines, there are just too many. If this continues, I will definitely be physically exhausted. Falling into Marine's circle. What to do? What should I do? Bonnie was anxious, and his mind was frantically thinking of ways to escape. As she was running away, suddenly, Lin Yan's figure appeared in front of her. The moment I saw him in front of me, a very sinister idea came to her mind that would affect her reputation. There was a hint of hesitation in Bonnie's eyes. Then this hesitation was cut off by her. They have all reached a critical moment of life and death. What does reputation mean? But Bonnie shouted loudly. Brother, I have done what I need to do, and I will leave the next situation to you. The words just fell. Bonnie and Lin Yan passed each other. Although I can't bear it. But, in order to understand the urgent need, she could only make this last resort. Marine has always taken care of the people. If only they knew that the man in front of them was just an ordinary person. I believe the soldiers will not make things difficult for him. Bar. Listen to Bonnie. The group of Marine soldiers who were originally chasing Bonnie frowned. And there are helpers? No wonder you ran away in this direction. Surround him. Subsequently, many soldiers turned their heads. No more chasing after Bonnie. The crowd immediately surrounded Lin Yan. Their expressions were unkind and their brows were knitted together. Staring at Lin Yan fiercely. The leader, Colonel Marine, dragged his sword and walked up step by step. He pointed at Lin Yan in front of him and angrily shouted, Boy, let's capture him without mercy. Watching a group of Marines block themselves without saying a word. Lin Yan glanced at them. This is shot while lying down? I just stood here and did nothing. 1 or 2 people blocked me, and they opened their mouths and asked me to surrender? You're sick, right? There is only one word in Lin Yan's heart. Grass, a plant. Colonel Marine looked at Lin Yan in front of him and said, Tell me, what is your relationship with that woman? Lin Yan said nothing. Colonel Marine then asked, Who are you in her pirate group? Lin Yan still didn't speak. Seeing this, Colonel Marine frowned and his face became unhappy. You won't say it, right? When you enter the prison later, I hope that when a bunch of torture is placed in front of you, you can still be as tough talking as you are now. Our colonel is asking you a question. Are you mute? Haha. How dare you look down on us Marine like that? I'm really tired of living. Colonel, stop talking nonsense with him and just grab him. Seeing Lin Yan repeatedly ignoring their colonel, the Marine soldiers became furious. They can't wait to catch Lin Yan and take credit. Since you are so arrogant, then, catch him. The colonel issued the order directly. Finally, the impatient Marine soldiers finally took action. They immediately stretched out their hands to capture Lin Yan. But at this moment, Lin Yan spoke. I'll give you a chance to get out of here. Listen to the words of the man in front of you. The surrounding soldiers really stopped. The next second, a burst of ridicule spread from the soldiers. This guy, what is he talking about? Give us a chance. Isn't this the opposite of what you said? Are you worthy? Do you really think of yourself as a character? The 500 soldiers present had sarcasm in their eyes and sarcasm on their faces as they looked at Lin Yan and laughed. I won't cry until I see the coffin. Even Colonel Marine shook his head. Just when 500 soldiers were filled with proud smiles, they wanted to catch Lin Yan and take him into Marine's prison. Buzz. Around Lin Yan, a series of lightning emerged. He raised his hand and said with an extremely calm face, "That's fine." In an instant, the terrifying thunder and electromagnetic field starts from him. It spread rapidly towards the surroundings. The magnetic field is dense and the current is fast. Strong thunder and lightning burst out. Thunderfruit breaks out. The 500 soldiers on the scene were immediately swept away by Lin Yan's thunder and lightning, causing a violent explosion. Resounded throughout the sky. Smoke and dust filled the air. In the midst of the smoke, Lin Yan stood there quietly. His face does not change color. At his feet, the 500 soldiers who were clamoring just now. There has been no movement for a long time, on site. It was quiet and silent. Only the colonel just now could barely withstand Lin Yan's lightning sweep. But at this moment, he was also dying, out of breath. His face was pale and extremely ugly. A pair of eyes were as wide as copper bells, looking at the messy scene. He couldn't help but tremble. I was shocked. I couldn't calm down for a long time. 500 people were swept away by him in an instant. This. How can it be? This guy in front of me, who is he? You. Who are you? Colonel Marine asked with difficulty as blood dripped from his mouth. He wants to know the identity of the guy in front of me. It can instantly kill 500 elite Marines on the scene. Looking at the entire new world, although there are many, there are only a handful of people who stand at the forefront of the world. You do not need to know. Lin Yan raised his hand and fired a thunderbolt. Since all Marine on site, they were all solved by him. For Lin Yan, this is just a trivial episode. After taking care of Marine, Lin Yan still has unresolved matters. Then, Lin Yan's gaze, looking towards the direction where Bonnie escaped just now. Let's talk about Bonnie. With the scene just now, she managed to shake off Marine, however, before she could breathe a sigh of relief. On the boulder in the distance, a man stood there, looking down at him. Bonnie's heart trembled. If you look carefully, isn't it Lin Yan who just passed her by? It's him. See Lin Yan. Bonnie froze for a moment. It was him that he had just managed to get rid of Marine. It stands to reason. The Marines should be surrounding him now. How? Haven't had time to think too much. Then a voice came from my ear. Please explain to me the meaning of the word diverting trouble to the east. I need a reason. It was Lin Yan who spoke. This. Listen to Lin Yan's words. Bonnie stopped, and for a moment, he didn't know what to say. Suddenly, she thought of those Marines from earlier. Where are those Marines? Bonnie asked. What do you think? Lin Yan looked at her quietly. Have you dealt with them all? Bonnie opened her mouth. She was a little shocked. To know. The person taking the lead is the colonel in Marine. What is the position of Colonel Marine? Handsome, General, Colonel, Lieutenant. Except for Marshal and Admiral, Vice Admiral, Rear Admiral, Commodore and the like. Colonel is already the highest military rank. When Smoker from Logtown appeared on the scene, he was in the position of Colonel. In other words, just become a Colonel. Almost all can guard one side. Even by myself. If you want to compete, you must show 100% strength. How long did it take for you to run from there just now? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? That is to say, the man in front of me killed more than 500 people, including the colonel, in just 3 or 2 minutes. The movement is swift and violent. It's chilling. Oh my God. Who is he? Bonnie didn't expect that. I randomly picked up someone outside. It's actually so powerful. But look at Lin Yan's face. Bonnie suddenly felt a little familiar. Yes. My own illusion? Bonnie now, and her pirate crew. Almost all of them are preparing to arrive in the new world. So, Bonnie always pays attention to many news in New World. For example, Blackbeard betrayed the Whitebeard pirates. Another example is that Jack was killed in the 3 disasters of the 100 Beasts group a while ago, etc. Soon. Bonnie looked up sharply. I remembered. She remembered. The familiar man in front of me. Isn't he the new captain of the 17th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates? It's you. Bonnie jumped up, pointed at Lin Yan and revealed his identity. You are the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. She asked how the man in front of her could kill so many Marine soldiers so quickly. It turned out to be the squad leader. Remember his identity. It's no surprise that he was able to kill so many Marine soldiers. Lin Yan didn't care whether Bonnie in front of him was surprised or not. He sat down cross-legged, looked at Bonnie in front of him slightly and said, "Okay, now you can answer my question. What does diverting the trouble just now mean?" "Okay, you can answer my question. All the time. It's all Lin Yan who deceives others. It's a good day. I hunt geese every year, but this year I was blinded by geese pecks." The woman in front of him actually tricked him. Can this be tolerated? If he hadn't noticed Lin Yan's identity before, Bonnie could still have made excuses. But now, Lin Yan's identity is revealed in front of him. As long as the other person is willing, their status as supernovas is nothing in the eyes of others. More importantly, she didn't dare to resist. Bonnie was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot, almost crying. Where did she think of it? Just pull someone over. This guy is actually the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. Who is the squad leader? That's a first-tier expert in the New World. Not to mention that Lin Yan, who just landed on the Moby Dick and swept all the White Division captains. I thought the gap between the two sides was too big. She quickly lowered her head and admitted her mistake. "I'm sorry." Joke. Don't bow your head now. Looking for death. Oh, is that all I need to say sorry? If apologizing works, what else do you need Marine to do? Lin Yan looked at her coldly. At the same time, the cold aura on his body was crushing towards Bonnie. Lin Yan didn't accept his apology, and feel the waves of chill released from his body. Bonnie only felt that he was under great pressure and mentally exhausted. At this time, she only felt dizzy. Bonnie at the moment. Extremely weak. My body is close to its limit and I can no longer stand still. Because of the long-term confrontation with Marine. In addition, he was chased by Marine troops. Now I am shocked by Lin Yan's momentum. The tight last string broke. Just listen to a plop. Bonnie, who was already exhausted, suddenly fainted and fell to the ground without moving. Witness this scene. Lin Yan couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. What's the situation? Is it porcelain? First of all, I have not met her. She fell down on her own. Monitoring can prove it. All readers can also prove it. Lin Yan walked up to Bonnie. He kicked the unconscious Bonnie. I found that the other party was already exhausted. Lin Yan said displeased ly. Bad luck, I had just tricked myself. Lin Yan also planned to extort a lot of money to comfort his young heart. The results of it? No oil or water was found. On the contrary, he got into trouble, seeing that nothing good can be gained. Lin Yan turned around and left, but I just took 2 steps. Lin Yan stopped. He turned and looked behind him at Bonnie. Just leave her here. A little inappropriate. Lin Yan's Holy Mother's heart is activated. Let's help her with something. Alas, I was too soft-hearted after all. Lin Yan walked towards the unconscious Bonnie again. Then, about 3 minutes later, he looted Bonnie's necklaces, bracelets and other valuables. It's a pity that we can only get so little. While sighing, Lin Yan left here disappointed. A sense of déjà vu that a zombie opens your head and then leaves here disappointed. What? Didn't you say you want to help her a little? Lin Yan said that with so many Marines chasing their supernova, I have helped her lighten the burden. As for her being a woman, can't she be treated gently? Gentle? Thanks to her being in a coma now. Lin Yan's Holy Mother's heart was activated and she didn't care about it. If she is still standing here well now. Without saying a word, Lin Yan launched a set of powerful hands to crack the skull, punched twice with a flat A, and received the overwhelming power. He piled up the heroic value on his body and then deliberately punched, and finally ended with a hug and a high sigh. This man has 20 years of martial arts skills. Can you stop it? Shaki's Tavern? You. After finally meeting Rayleigh again, Shaki was in a good mood. Joy to her. While lighting a cigarette, he wiped the wine glass in his hand. But very quickly, she was in a happy mood and was affected by the plague. Looking at Lin Yan standing at the door and smiling at him, Shaki's mood suddenly fell to the bottom. Why are you here? Why aren't you welcome? I heard that Rayleigh seems to have returned to the tavern recently, right? Lin Yan walked up to Shaki's bar, and then continued. Old rules, boss lady, make me a drink of your specialty wine. Welcome. Do you have the nerve to say such a thing? Even though Shaki felt a lot of displeasure in her heart, she still couldn't help shouting. No. I have already guided you to Zephyr's path. Are you still looking for Lao Lei? Now Rayleigh has gone to join the Straw Hat Pirates. And he just went over to answer the call. However, Rayleigh just walked off the front foot. Lin Yan rushed over. The ghost is still there, right? Captain, tell me the truth. How many times have you inserted eyes around my tavern? You don't know how to stay here from the beginning. Shaki couldn't help but become suspicious. The vigilance in his eyes remained unabated. Fireproof and burglar-proof Lin Yan. How could be? Lin Yan said with a smile. Just give up. I will definitely not tell you about Lao Lei. Shaki turned his head like a proud peacock. You also said that there is no relationship between you and Rayleigh. With your appearance, no dog would believe it. Lin Yan complained. I want you to take care of it? Shaki glared at him. Look at Shaki, who is still as cautious as ever and unwilling to reveal Rayleigh's movements. Lin Yan laughed. Then he said, Okay, boss lady, I won't argue with you anymore. The purpose of my trip is not Rayleigh. Oh. Are you really not here for Lao Lei? Looking at Lin Yan's appearance, Shaki asked suspiciously. It's natural. Hurry up and bring the wine, I'm thirsty. Lin Yan greeted her. It sounds like the target is not Rayleigh. Shaki also breathed a sigh of relief, and then quickly made Lin Yan a glass of wine. Lin Yan was also unambiguous. He grabbed the glass and drank it in one gulp. Looking at Lin Yan, who had finished drinking, Shaki raised the corner of his mouth slightly and said, Previously, I always gave you a free order, Captain, and the shop also has to do business. This time, you can't help but take the order. What? Not free of charge? Lin Yan looked at the wine glass that he had already finished, and he was stunned for a while. Shaki is a well-known extortion expert throughout the Sabodi archipelago. Want to take advantage of her? Almost as hard as peeing on a Kainu's head. Lin Yan then asked. Can I spit it out? Spit it out. Shaki's face darkened. Why is this captain of Division 17 so shameless? Friendly price, 100,000 Baileys a cup. Shaki said bluntly. It's okay, I still have money. Without saying a word, Lin Yan took out the necklace and bracelet that he had just snatched from Bonnie. Shaki looked at the pair of jewelry in front of him. Preliminary estimates. It's worth at least 700,000 or 800,000 Bailey. It was as if she was possessed by Nami. Both eyes turned into the shape of O. As evidence from heaven and earth, I, Shaki, take back my shameless remarks about the captain of Division 17. Shaki changed his previous prejudice against Lin Yan. There was such a squad leader who often visited the tavern. It's her honor. It's her great luck. The Lin Yan in front of me looks more and more pleasing to the eye. Soon. Lin Yan asked about Blackbeard. It was learned that Lin Yan was looking for Blackbeard this time. Shaki didn't mince words either. He immediately ran into his information room. Search inside the information room. Finally, I present Blackbeard's information. Captain, my advice is that you don't go looking for Blackbeard. Shaki looked at the information in his hand, hesitated for a while, and then gave Lin Yan suggestions. What's wrong? Lin Yan asked rhetorically. See for yourself, Shaki said, soon. After seeing the content on the intelligence. He also fell silent. Blackbeard is now in Marineford. Not only that, Ace was also sent to the underwater prison. The impel down that claims to be unbreakable and impregnable for many years. Although I had long expected such a result. But Lin Yan couldn't help but sigh. Summit war is inevitable after all. Lin Yan doesn't think so. I was able to force my way through impel down and bring Ace out. As a marshal, I believe that after Ace was imprisoned, to guard against bad actors, the current impel down's defense has definitely doubled. It's harder than ever to hack. For the sake of being an old acquaintance, Captain, I'm giving you a heads up. Shaki lit a cigarette and said to Lin Yan. Recently, Marine has been recruiting elite soldiers from all over the world, the first half of the Grand Line, New World and other places. Currently, according to my information, there are more than hundreds of thousands of elite Marine soldiers stationed in Marineford alone, and there are hundreds of warships. Captain, do you know what Marine means? Mean? Lin Yan didn't know what Marine meant. After Ace was captured, such a large-scale military operation was launched immediately. It's not hard to guess. They want to kill the Whitebeard pirates. Establish your authority through a summit war. Let them return Marine to the supremacy of the Grand Line. Stand on top of the world. Actually, Marine has always been the overlord of this sea, belonging to one superpower and multiple powers. Even the many four emperors, the so-called Emperor of the Sea, In front of Marine, he had to avoid 3 points. As for why Marine still does this, the reason is simple. The human heart is not enough for a snake to swallow an elephant. This is like some old beauty who wants to remain anonymous. When he suspects that you have a weapon of destruction, not only do you really have it, but you'd better take it out and let him take a good look at it with his eyes wide open. Captain, Marine and the others are already preparing to launch an operation against your Whitebeard pirates. You have to be careful, Shaki said worriedly. Although I didn't get along with Lin Yan for long, I even thought that he was a god of plague. But actually, after a series of mutual dissatisfaction and mutual destruction, Shaki can completely tell that Lin Yan is a sweetheart. They also became friends. She didn't want such a man to be stupid. Bah, my friend would be involved in the coming storm. While the two were chatting, rumble. The ground suddenly began to shake. Shaki's expression changed. What's going on? The current Sabodi archipelago is in turmoil. She didn't want her tavern to be affected, just in case. The tavern was razed? Who will she cry to then? Coming. Lin Yan closed his eyes and felt it, and then he couldn't help laughing. Rayleigh and Kizaru's sword skills have already reached this point. Open the door. Lin Yan walked out. Shaki follows closely behind. As expected. Look around. I saw two figures constantly intersecting, each intersecting with violent vibrations and brilliant sparks. Both sides come and go. The fight was not too intense. You move, I move. Mutual exchange. Proper health-preserving swordsmanship. Except Rayleigh and Kizaru, behind them. There are also the Straw Hat Pirates and Senmomomaru. Zon Momomaru's strength is not weaker than this group of supernovas, and he is chasing Luffy's blaster alone. However, Zon Momomaru did not fight alone. Behind him, there are also 5 pacifists. Pacifist. This is Marine's secret weapon, the world government's humanoid weapon. Compared to Shichibukai, the Empress can do it one kick at a time. But compared to Supernova, these pacifists are a dimensionality reduction attack. Rayleigh is restrained by Kizaru. Luffy was restrained by Zon Momomaru. A full 5 pacifists entered the Straw Hat Pirates. Like a tiger entering a flock of sheep, no one can challenge it. How could Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Frankie and others be their opponents? He was immediately beaten and fled. Old Lay. When he went out, he saw Rayleigh fighting against Marine Admiral Kizaru, and Shaki had a worried look on his face. Although Rayleigh is not weak, but the opponent is, after all, the Marine Admiral who is at the peak of his powers. What about Rayleigh? In the twilight years, the sun sets on the West Mountain. People get old. All functions are naturally inferior to those of young people. Are you worried? Don't worry, if it were anyone else, Rayleigh probably wouldn't be able to last long. His luck is good, this time the enemy is Kizaru. Lin Yan also admires this fishing admiral very much. A typical person who can lie down but never stand. Have the opportunity. He also wanted to try this kind of treatment. As a normal person, who would refuse to fish? Are you right? Lin Yan looked away from Rayleigh. The other side. It's hard for the people here in the Straw Hat Pirates. Although they offer a reward for their strength, they are not weak. But the enemy is, after all, a pacifist. To be called a human weapon by Marine, pacifists are also powerful. Of course, this is a more ordinary pirate. Compared to people like Lin Yan, pacifists are not enough. In Summit War, pacifists demonstrate absolute dominance. Not something ordinary people can match. Lin Yan touched his chin. He didn't expect it either. For the first time, I met Luffy, the protagonist of the pirate world. It was actually under such circumstances. Not far away, the Straw Hat Pirates were ravaged by pacifists. Lin Yan sighed. Is this the power of a supernova? To be honest, not ordinary weak, hard to imagine. That kind of people. How in just 2 years? Defeated Kaido of the Beasts, who had stood in the New World for 40 or 50 years before reaching the status of the 4 emperors today. Not to mention that behind Kaido, there is a huge Beasts pirates at his disposal. On strength, on status, on influence. About the pirates. In what way is Luffy better than Mr. Kaido? Cheating? Emin. Speaking of cheating. Lin Yan suddenly came back to his senses. He scratched his head. I don't think I'm qualified to talk about him. Rayleigh and Kizaru's swordsmanship has entered a feverish stage. Oh, he is indeed a strong man from the old times. Kizaru held the Amankongyun sword in his hand, which was shining brightly. He swung the sword towards Rayleigh, and at the same time said something dirty. It's really scary. Rayleigh raised the long knife in his hand. Blocking all of Kizaru's slashes, he responded in kind. But at this moment, Rayleigh is not optimistic. His forehead was covered with sweat, in front of Admiral Kizaru. After all, it's a little short of the mark. It's Admiral after all. Rao was the right hand of Roger, the pirate king back then, and Rayleigh had to start serving his old age. Compared to Kizaru, his body couldn't keep up. Of course. Kizaru has the upper hand though. But he didn't take advantage of the victory to pursue it. His peripheral vision looked at Zon Momomaru and the pacifists not far away. I believe it won't be long. The Straw Hat Pirates can be captured by Zon Momomaru and others. Harm, Rayleigh or something. Catch whoever you like. What does Kizaru have to do with him? The boss said to catch the supernova. Then just catch these supernovae. Other people. It's none of my business. This is why Kizaru competes with Rayleigh at all times. Finally. On the other side of the battlefield. Zon Momomaru also defeated Luffy, who was already severely injured. Other pacifists also captured the Straw Hat Pirates and others. Since then, 11 supernovae, including Kid, Trafalgar Law, and the Straw Hat Pirates, as well as many remaining supernovas. They were all sent to the temporary prison on the warship by Kizaru. Straw Hat Boy, stop struggling, let's just capture him. You're the last supernova to be captured. It's already great for you to be able to delay this period of time in front of Admiral and so many pacifists. Zon Taomaru's face was as cold as frost, and he looked at the struggling Straw Hat Luffy in front of him and said, "Hateful." Luffy gritted his teeth, but now he was seriously injured and died. Watching my friends around me being arrested one by one. He was already dying. I can only watch helplessly. At this moment, Luffy is deeply aware of his weakness and helplessness. Why is there something wrong with this script? Lin Yan frowned. He seemed to remember that none of the supernovas seemed to have been arrested and imprisoned. Why is it like this now? As Kizaru starting to get nervous. So dedicated and dedicated. Rayleigh watched as the Straw Hat Pirates were captured. He couldn't help but become anxious about Luffy. Rayleigh had already learned about the situation from Shanks as early as when they set off from East Blue. Don't say anything else. The bond of this Straw Hat is here. Facing Admiral oppression, Rayleigh couldn't stand aside. But this is the current situation. Rayleigh wants to use her strength to steal food from Kizaru's grasp. However, Kizaru didn't give him a chance. Even because of being too anxious, Rayleigh showed a flaw. Seize this flaw. Kizaru gave Rayleigh a finishing blow. Rayleigh, injured. Today. It was a rare day for Kizaru to successfully complete his mission. However, just as Kizaru was preparing to set off and return home, a change has occurred, that found among a group of pacifists. A pacifist laser eyes suddenly locked onto Shaki on the hill not far away. Parsing characters. Pirate, Shaki. Pirate. Because pacifist comes with facial recognition. Even this facial recognition, connected to the Marine Bounty Library list. Even as a pirate from the old era, as long as it is not logged out. Almost no one can escape their laser eyes, lock on Shaki. After scanning her identity, one of the pacifists raised his hand. Palm lock on Shaki. Then, call out. A terrifying laser beam shot over. Radium rays are very powerful. It contains unparalleled edge, comes straight to Shaki. Although Shaki is already old, but the foundation of my youth is here. After all, she is also a woman who has been severely beaten by Rock's pirate and Roger pirates. The body moved down very quickly. This laser beam missed her. But she avoided it, but behind her. But her tavern has been running for many years. My tavern. Shaki's heart was bleeding. If we talk about the two things she likes most in her life. The same old lay. Same thing else. This is the tavern in front of you. Just when she thought her tavern was going to be destroyed by the pacifist rays. Clang. Lin Yan stood in front of the tavern. Raise your hand. Directly intercepted the pacifist's laser. Lin Yan stood at the door of the tavern. He said calmly, "Don't worry, boss lady, you don't have Rayleigh anymore, don't you still have me?" I saw that the tavern was saved by Lin Yan. Shaki breathed a sigh of relief. But soon, she frowned and glared at Lin Yan. Are you taking advantage of me again? This guy. What nonsense are you talking about? Rayleigh is watching not far away. She felt that even if she jumped into the Yellow River, she would not be able to clean herself. Look at what you said, who would be interested in an ant? Lin Yan said with a smile. Ant? This is the second time Shaki has heard the word ant. Several black lines fell off her forehead. I have the urge to kill Lin Yan. After all, the tavern was peaceful. Shaki doesn't care too much either. Because of the movement here, it quickly attracted the attention of Zan Momomaru, Kizaru and Rayleigh. Watching Lin Yan intercept the pacifist's laser with one hand. In his eyes, showing a hint of astonishment. To know. Pacifist laser. Not ordinary pirates can handle it. Not to mention someone like Lin Yan. I took it with my bare hands. I've heard about Sabodi Archipelago, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This guy has some strength. Zan Taomaru couldn't help but sigh. Oh hey, look who I met here. The captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. If Zan Taowen doesn't know Lin Yan. But Kizaru is the real deal, someone who has read Lin Yan's news. Although there is no reward, but there is no doubt about the strength. Kizaru touched his chin with one hand. Why is the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates here? Is he here too? Rayleigh did not learn about Lin Yan from the newspaper. On the contrary. But Shaki said it. Lin Yan has been to the pub several times. And they all come straight to me. Just when everyone looked sideways. Lin Yan glanced at the pacifists in the distance and said, I've been drinking in this pub several times, and the lovely proprietress has provided me with free information many times. I feel a little bad about letting it be ruined like this. In that case, in return, I will help you kill these pacifists in front of you.